year. You
And
know,
also, I mean, this is actually great
a
for the
good
league.
timing. Yeah, and it's good timing because it just shows changing of the guard. And then let's look at Steph and what the Warriors are doing. Let's not discount that because we ain't even talking about them
I
boys the
got a
way we
good
need to be
question.
talking about them.
I got a good question for that when we
But
get to them.
nobody care about them. But what I mean by good timing is it gives Adam Silver like data now to say, okay, I got
Which
at
play?
best 3 years left with
Which players
LeBron.
can we market around for like TV coverage? Yeah,
Yep. So now they can start working on their post LeBron
because
strategy.
now the Pelicans gonna get Zion. He got to be like, all right, how we going? We got to give him a couple games nationally. You know what I'm
Yep. They
saying?
tried with AD. Nobody took to AD.
Well, AD is a hellified basketball player, but he don't do nothing that's really sexy to the casual fan.
Nah, he's
They
like a
wanted the shit out of him though.
But because he is a great player, but he's not a
Timmy
sensational
D.
player.
Right.
He's a Timmy D. Player.
Yeah, he's really good, but what else does he do? Does he dunk on people? Does he shoot threes like Steph? Like what does he do that's sensational?
His personality isn't that
Nope, very
flamboyant.
quiet.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he ain't. So that's how I think that's how Embiid plays boring too. To be honest, but his personality
Mhm.
makes you want to watch him.
Exactly. They ain't gonna call that. He a superstar.
Man, you talking to the wrong brother. He don't give a fuck about you.
So does Milwaukee win this game?
I got Toronto. This is a must-win game for them.
So it's gonna be 2-2.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 2-2. But I mean, obviously,
I put it
I got Milwaukee winning the series. But
After watching the last game, what was apparent to me is Milwaukee is definitely a one-man team because once Giannis fouled out, they just looked so discombobulated.
But they only scored. He only scored 12 points, and they still had a chance to win that game. So how I understand they look discombobulated, but it was the second OT. The best player fouled out. Somebody should have stepped up and took over for that game.
they don't got no
And they
number
managed.
two.
They had like 106
They
points, so
do.
they scored like 90-some points without him.
But look, man, basketball is not all about scoring points.
Are you talking about the Bucks? Yeah, yeah.
Basketball is not
Middleton
all about
should've-
scoring points.
No, I know
what
that.
Giannis does is that he brings a calming factor to that squad. When I say that they look discombobulated, they had hellified turnovers, and it's not about just somebody just stepping up. Because what does that mean, right? Because you're talking about you equated Giannis and then the next person stepping up scoring points. That's not necessarily what they needed. They needed somebody to come in and control the flow. That's what Giannis does, and that doesn't come up on the stat sheet.
And the person I'm talking about should have been Middleton.
But
He
that's
should have
not
been
his
that
game.
guy.
But Ken, that's not his game.
Well, I found out because I didn't watch the game, so I found out that he had an off game anyway. So he was already
But
out of it.
he is a dependent player. Outside of
See, I don't
Bledsoe,
think he's that dependent. Of
He
a player.
is.
Nah, I don't think I won't agree with it.
He's not. So he's an independent player.
He
You
can get his
just
own
put him out
shot.
there on the island and be like, go lead us.
Yeah, he can do that.
Go get your shots. Yeah. Why would you say he isn't?
He could have taken
Because-
over that game and brought that shit home, bro.
Because
If he had a bad game, he had a bad game.
he all right. So when you take over, it's not just scoring. It's controlling the game.
And he didn't do that
But
either.
But that's not Chris Middleton's game. You could be a scorer and not control the flow of the game.
I'm not saying that's what he can. That's not what he can do all the time. But he should have done it in that game.
But see, no. Oh, okay.
Because you
So-
can do it for one game, can you not?
This is sounding like I'm talking to two non-basketball playing motherfuckers right now. Because if that's not your game, you can't just do it. That has to be part of your game, part of what you bring. Like CJ can control the tempo of a game and still get his shots and play make for others. Chris Middleton don't play make for others. Chris Middleton is a scorer. It's just like saying Chris Middleton is a poor man Klay Thompson. Klay
Right.
Thompson can't control the tempo of the game. Klay Thompson go get
So
buckets.
where I disagree is I've seen Chris Middleton do that before.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and
I
that's
gi-
why
I-
I think he could have done it
I
in
give
that
Chris
moment.
Middleton enough respect to say for one game he could close it out.
I don't know about all that.
I
This
could-
guy Paul been balling. I don't know about all
Oh
that.
yeah, we were just talking about him.
Yeah,
I was like, when he just randomly put him in one game, they were losing by double digits, and he stepped up. And I think at that moment he found somebody he can go to, and we already know he's a 3-point shooter.
Hellfire pass. See, Middleton don't make that pass. Middleton forces that up.
But Middleton wouldn't be driving to the hoop. Middleton's going to get right there in the middle of the paint, hit that mid-range, and shoot that three.
Exactly my point of not being a playmaker and controlling tempo of the game.
My thing was more.
But
of
they
like
have
to close
Bledsoe
out
out
the
there to
game. He
control
don't
the
have to
tempo of the
always.
game.
He don't have to
And
become
that's
a
the
point forward. He
and
just
that's
needs to help to close out the game. They were in enough position for him to score to close out the game. Slow down the game means also like when someone brings the ball, like hold on, let's set up our shit. If not, put me on the block. He can score.
It's not scoring. I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying
tempo.
like tempo. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like slow it down. We're a mid court team. We're not high pace up and down.
Look,
tempo.
I don't expect him to bring the ball up the court and get them into the offense.
That's
or
what I mean.
anything
He
like
ain't
that.
Larry Bird. I give you that.
But Bledsoe can, that's me. Bledsoe can bring up and they can run the offense, and he could be eventually the guy that get them a bucket down the stretch or something like that. He wasn't doing any of that shit. He looked shook.
But Bledsoe's the only other guy. I would say maybe Malcolm Brogdon are the only two other guys that can control tempo on this squad.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Brogdon, yeah.
Those are the only two other guys. You know what I'm saying?
We just talking.
We just talking.
We just
We
talking.
just talking.
We ain't talking nothing.
Like, B, did you watch the last game, Milwaukee-Toronto? I made the statement that they looked discombobulated once Giannis fouled out, right? And Ken and Mr. Disrespect are saying that Chris Middleton should have like brought him home, and I'm like, he don't control tempo for them like that.
No, he don't.
He's a scorer.
That's all he is.
That's all he is.
That's not what I'm saying though. My
So
thing
then
is,
what are you saying?
He's
my
not
thing
a-
is
he's not
like
a tempo type of player.
he should be able to close out that game when Giannis goes down. He's the number 2 on that team, is he not?
He is.
So as the number 2, when your number 1 goes down, that's your opportunity to step up to prove you're number 2.
But it's just like Clay. If KD, Draymond, and Steph are out, you're asking Clay to do that? Clay, that's not
And
Clay's
Clay had-
game.
I'm not asking for a whole game. I'm asking for
even
that
to close it out.
that duration. He should be able to do that. He should be able to do
Ralph,
that. in my
That's
eyes.
not his game.
Ralph, I totally agree that he is not that guy in terms of controlling the tempo. What I'm saying is that we know he can score, so he should do what he does best, score. He wasn't even doing that.
But Ken,
And he had 2 costly turnovers. What I'm looking at is that, look, we know Giannis is out. We've scored damn near 100 points without him somehow. So, Bledsoe, Brogdon, you do what you do, and let's continue to run the offense, and we figure out maybe Bud run some plays to get Middleton the ball so he can score.
But that was the problem, right? Because all game, Giannis was controlling the entire tempo of that whole game. The whole game. I watched the whole game.
Until he got fouled out.
Until he
He
got
controlled-
fouled out.
he
He
controlled
controlled
the
the
tempo
whole
of
game.
the whole
The
game.
game was going up and down based
Yep,
on
based
Giannis.
off Giannis, yeah.
For Toronto and Milwaukee. That's what makes Giannis special. And when he fouls out and you were relying on him to do all of that, they fell apart. They didn't even look like they could get the ball barely past half court.
Like, it should have been Bledsoe or somebody to take control of that tempo.
They should have.
It should
But
went
that's
through
kind of what I'm
Bledsoe.
saying.
But you were saying, both of y'all were saying Chris Middleton, right?
I'm saying Chris Middleton
But
should
not
close out
controlling the
game.
tempo, bro.
Yeah, I'm
like
just talking about
it's
closing out the
exactly
game.
what he said.
Yeah.
It's a 2-pronged attack. Like he said, and I just said, Bledsoe or Brogdon can control the tempo of the game, and then Middleton could be the guy that's going to get the buckets they
Because we
need.
agree with you though. He's
understand how
not a point
difficult
forward.
that is when your main guy, just like LeBron, right? Like when LeBron comes out the game, what happens to his teams? They fall the hell apart because they were so reliant on him.
But Chris Middleton's better than those guys.
But it's not even that, Nick. It's not even that. Milwaukee, what I'm about to say, because I understand that, because I didn't watch the game, and I told you I didn't watch the game. So I understand that Giannis' presence on the courts provides a certain form of stability. So, but what I'm also saying is that when when Giannis is off the court, Milwaukee,
That was
you
so
run into him?
stupid.
they are still efficient
pointless
and
foul.
effective enough to get points, and because they have it. I think it looks to me that they have a
He
system.
did 3/4 court. Why would you do that? That's so dumb.
Is that not flagrant?
No, that's just stupid.
Look,
That's a pointless foul.
this is the reason why one-man band shows is extremely difficult to win a championship, because the team is so reliant on you to do everything that when you're not there, It's incredibly difficult for you to do something.
Mm.
It really is.
I agree with you, but the thing that made Milwaukee so great is that while they were a one-man show, they weren't a LeBron man show.
And I agree. And the difference between LeBron and Giannis is that LeBron go get you 30, 40 points. Giannis can get you 20-some points, but it's different the way he scores than LeBron does. That's off, way off. So they're not. So Milwaukee is not reliant upon Giannis getting 25, 30 a game.
Mm-hmm.
But they're reliant on Giannis to attract the defense and to create plays.
I know, but what I'm saying is that when Giannis is off the court, they are still a machine. They are still able to be.
They are, and like I said, in that last game, as soon as Giannis fouled out, it looked like a whole different squad.
It did.
just
No, it did. It did, and that's where I was disappointed because I've seen Milwaukee be effective when Giannis is off the court, and for whatever reason, and you watched the whole game, so Giannis' impact was definitely, I guess, felt more than the rest than it's shown in the box score in terms of points. Because, he had 23 rebounds and 8 assists, but he also had 8 turnovers. But Milwaukee has been a team where Giannis wasn't the sole engine that made it run. So,
Look, I feel all that. I feel all that. I just know that I know what my eyes tell me. I know what I watched, and I feel like I know what needs to happen. You know what I'm saying, for them to win. They need to go out there and ball, play their game, right? But at the same time, Bledsoe, Brogdon did his thing. Brogdon came in the last game.
yeah, I saw he played well.
Yeah, he played well. He came in and he gave them the scoring punch that they needed.
Do we got the remote for?
For the commercial?
Yeah.
Brogdon came in and gave them the scoring punch that they needed. Bledsoe was barely there. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really create much. He didn't. He hit a couple big shots.
He's having a rough series.
He is. Yeah. He's having a rough series.
Bledsoe's at an interesting point in his career right now. Because
Yeah.
I think the expectations that we had for him coming into the league and where he's at now is just like right now the potential is looking like it may not be there, but he's still so much of a talent that you like one day he'll get it together.
It's over for him.
What do you mean? What do you mean? One
Yeah,
day?
it's over for him.
Well, because I still like Kim, we saw a stat that showed his field goal percentage when he shoots inside of 3 versus outside of 3. Like when he basically from 2-point shots to 3-point shots.
50 and
shots,
20%.
he shoot over 50% when
I
he
just rounded it off.
when he shoots inside. But outside of 3, he shoots like 22, 23%. And it's like that's a huge contrasting of numbers when it comes to your efficiency. Like in one scenario, you should definitely not be on the court. In another scenario,
But that's in
you're the
this
best player.
series. He's a career 34% 3-point shooter. So, again, it's like we were saying, like he's struggling in this series with that 3-point shot. But yeah, no, it's over for him, man.
Yeah, because let me ask you, like, at what point in time is a player what they are?
That's the question. That's the question that
He is what he is. Look,
would you say what is that, year 5?
my theory is is it takes players to develop 3 to 5 years, right?
So at that 5th year, they are who they are.
No. So to me, players are typically what they are by year 7. The great ones, a la LeBron, a la Dirk, a la D Wade, 7, 8, 9, they can still add things to their game. But he's not that level of player. He's to me at this point, he's just like Jeff Teague, right? Like look at Budenholzer and what
He's a more athletic.
You
Jeff
right.
Teague.
yeah. He is what he is, right? Like he's aggressive some nights. And
He's
he looks
Jeff
like
Teague, but he had superstar expectations placed on him coming
because
in,
he has superstar athletic ability.
or star, whatever word you want to use there.
Yeah,
but
he
yes,
has superstar athletic ability. Like we saw when he was backing up CPE.
Yeah.
They call him Baby Bron.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why the expectation level was so high because, yeah, you can ball. You're going to get better, right? And you physically already can compete. So the expectation level is extremely high. But sometimes people don't realize their potential. And that was the thing with Eric Bledsoe. He hasn't realized his full potential. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, how can you shoot 50+% from the 2-point field goal and shoot 20? And is that in this series or is that for his
That's
career?
in this series.
In this series, right? So like, and Ken, you said for his career he shoots low 30s as
Yeah.
a point guard, right? And this NBA, he's been through the evolution of what the NBA is today, right? He should have, his coaching staff, the people around him, the people he employs to get him better, should have realized that and got him, you know what I'm saying, closer to 35, 36% from three, which is doable because it's not like you can't shoot. He shoots 80% from the free throw
Now, when
line.
he was in Phoenix, there was a moment where he was in the high 30s. But, you know, once that didn't work out, he kind of settled in at, you know, the career low 30s.
Yeah.
But we like you said, he's been through, like, the NBA, career trajectory or whatever. He's been in every role back up. He had his
Starter.
team in Phoenix.
Yep.
He played well. That didn't work out. They probably didn't develop him because they don't really do a good job of developing a team, at least around that time.
But in Phoenix, you gotta remember they had 3-point guards. Him, Dragic,
yeah.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
Like,
he
so
mentioned that
Phoenix didn't
earlier.
know what the hell they was
was a
doing
crowd
anyway.
of
Right. So, you know, he was a victim of that. And then I think just get into Milwaukee, getting a chance to settle in. And not only that, the pressure being removed from him. So now Giannis is the guy. Middleton's the go-to guy. He could basically settle in to be the third or fourth option or role player. And that's it. And, you know, and that's good if he can produce on the court. But if Brogdon coming in, who's much younger and giving you more production than he is,
Bledsoe out of there. Bledsoe is expendable.
yeah.
That's essentially what you just said. Bledsoe is expendable because you have a guy that's younger, cheaper, shoots better defender, better overall. Bledsoe's not part of their long-term plans. There's only 3 guys part of their long-term plans. That's Giannis, obviously. That's Chris Middleton, and it's Malcolm Brogdon. Everybody else is interchangeable on the squad. I think Pat Connaughton, they'll probably keep him.
Yeah.
You know, cheap JJ Redick, you know, Kyle Korver type shooter. You always need one of those type of guys. So as he continues to improve, you know what I'm saying, he'll definitely be a cog for them. But you know, I watch Golden State, man. I watch Golden State,
Let's get to it.
and I agree with Colin Cowherd. Both of these teams look like nice runner-ups.
Yep.
They just do.
Just give him the trophy.
Yeah, just
Yep.
give him
Give
the
Golden
trophy.
State the trophy already, man. I've
With
been saying that from the beginning of the season. Would you about to say with
With
or
or without KD.
Durant? Yeah.
With or
Give him
without
the trophy,
KD.
man. Give him the trophy. They play such beautiful basketball. Like
They do.
They play the shit that we like to play, like
Bruh.
cutting,
Bruh.
everything.
That's the thing me and Kid was talking about as far as Milwaukee. Like, they don't have that many. Like, there's not a lot of people cutting on that team. And It's
Right.
just like when you
Man,
see
Golden State.
when everybody in the NBA looking at Golden State like how we beat them, it's like, shit, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, take some of the elements that they do well and like try to like. Why aren't you cutting to the basket when it comes to certain?
Some of the most simplest
Okay.
basketball
So
stuff.
so again, the difference between Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr. Right, like we always want to talk about Mark Jackson, this, that, and the third. Yes, he laid the foundation of what Golden State was, but Steve Kerr is what took him over the top. And part of that is how many coaches, right, have the pedigree that Steve Kerr had coming into the Warriors, right? We're talking about a guy that played with Michael Jordan, a guy that played with Tim Duncan, a guy that was coached by Pop, a guy that was coached by Phil, a guy that, as a GM, hired D'Antoni, Steve Nash, you know, that whole 7 seconds or less, that was all orchestrated by Steve Kerr, the GM, right? And then you go and you have a team that has Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. First thing you do is you move Iggy to the bench, you start Draymond, right? So he's added, if you think about the elements of Phil Jackson in terms of the triangle and how you want to attack and this, that, and the third, he implemented that. You look at Greg Popovich, right? Well, implemented ideas of the triangle. You look at Greg Popovich, right? Well, what made Greg Popovich so great? He played European style basketball in the NBA. So you're seeing a different version of that because he has a guy that can extend the defense goddamn 40 feet. You know what I'm saying? He has a playmaking power forward. How many people have Draymond Greens? He's extremely unique. This man be given a wide open shots for a better shot.
But for me, it's just more about as far as play style. Like, we've seen shooters like Steph.
Nope.
As far as
Nope.
the way they get their separation
Nope.
and open. Ray Allen.
Nope.
Ray Allen. How off screens.
Never see what Steph
It's just
does.
that we haven't seen it for a full team because that's the thing. That's the difference between Golden State. They take what one player, one great shooter does well, but they expand it because our whole team can shoot well.
We never seen what Steph does ever. There
I'm
is
not saying the efficiency of
no,
the
no,
shot.
I'm not talking about that either. I'm talking about how Steph gets open, why Steph gets open, and what Steph does to opposing defenses. We've never seen what he does. It's extremely unique. Like Steph will come down, right, make a pass, run around. He keeps moving. And the difference between the Rip Hamiltons, the Ray Allens, the Reggie Millers of the world is that they move off the play. Like this is the play that is called. And I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep weaving. I'm going to keep doing stuff till I get open. Steph moves instinctively. Like every time he runs to the corner, there's no other point guard. I watch Legler. What was his first
Tim.
name? Tim Legler. You know what I'm saying? Break it down. There's no other player that does what Steph does and winds up in the corner the way he does. Never. That's what makes him unique. All these other guys, it's off of a play call. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come, I'm gonna set my right foot in, I'm gonna get square, I'm gonna shoot it. You watch him. Steph is different. We've never seen Steph. That's why Steph does what he does. Steph is the most unique point guard that we've ever seen.
I'm talking about the team of Golden State and how they played their style of basketball. It's always like you said in the chat, like there's everybody's a passer in that on that team, and it's just like for me, it's like especially with how they've changed the game of basketball, where they've made smaller lineups, which usually favor the point guards, just the guards in general. Why don't people like put that in play as far as everybody? There needs to be a ball movement everywhere.
Because everybody's play style doesn't accommodate that. Like Kyrie will never be efficient in that type of style of basketball. He just won't be. Neither will LeBron. You have ball dominant players, and you have non-ball dominant players. That's just how people are.
So let's get back to Golden State, because I came to the conclusion that I think they're going to three-peat. And I told Rod this last night when we were recording, because we watched the end of that game, and I was like, three-peat. And I thought about it yesterday morning. I woke up, and I think I may have been listening to First Thing First, and Nick Wright on his Bucks thing, and what's the other guy? Matt's on his Bucks thing. And I'm like, everybody looking at Bucks. And this reminded me of when the Bulls, back in the day, were going for that three-peat, and Phoenix was right around the corner, and people thought Phoenix could beat them. People thought Phoenix was
Phoenix
going
They had
to
the
be
MVP.
the one.
It was a good team.
They had the MVP.
They had
Barkley was on a
everything.
mission.
They had a scoring point guard.
Yep, Barkley was on a mission. Barkley felt like he was the best player that year, not Jordan.
Yep.
So yeah, people thought Phoenix. I was one of them. I was like, man, I think Phoenix might. I was thinking Phoenix was gonna get it, but I shouldn't have doubted Jordan.
That's just because you lived in Detroit.
Probably because I was like, man, I'm sick of Jordan. He better not three-peat and all that stuff. So maybe a little bit of that,
And they lost. And I was like,
they lost. Yep.
that's the same. I get that same feeling, man. I just feel like history is going to repeat itself. And the way Steph is playing, man, like all people talking about is Giannis and Kawhi, and nobody's talking about Steph. This man is putting up Michael Jordan type stats.
Didn't I
in
tell
his
y'all? I'm
own
like,
way.
man,
Is it because like we're used how many times can we keep talking about Steph?
How many times did we keep talking about LeBron?
We still talking about LeBron.
right? He ain't even not nowhere near the playoffs. He at home chilling, just like us.
So he deserves it, man. Steph was
As in Steph, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
Steph deserves it, man. Like, I did dislike the Warriors for a stretch, but I appreciate. And then I came around on Kerr, and again I came around and just started thinking about Kerr, man. I was like, man,
the two people who, especially after they swept Portland, the two people that I really gained a lot of respect for.
Oh, so you can't hold the mic now, nigga? So I'm just playing. No, go ahead. No.
The two people I have a lot of respect for now is Steve Kerr and Draymond Green. Boy, Draymond was the MVP of that conference finals because
More so than Steph?
More so than Steph, in my opinion, because he kept them in those games. All those games was
Draymond
close.
won that series.
All those games was close.
I feel like
Draymond was blood, sweat, and tears. You seen
Steph,
that? You
though, man.
No, Steph.
Jesus
Steph,
Christ. Steph
no,
was
I'm not
crazy.
saying. I'm not trying to take anything away from Steph because Steph obviously is the number one alpha. Wherever he goes, that's where Golden State goes. But Draymond Green is the engine that keeps that whole thing moving. Because there was runs that Portland was going on that Draymond made these certain key plays, certain key defensive blocks and stuff like look at his stats he averaged for that series what was it, like 16 points, almost 12 rebounds, I think at least 7 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals per. Like that's for the series. Like what else can you say about like that's across the board?
And here's what I mean by that B, because I think he gave them the advantage that Portland couldn't counter.
Exactly.
So whenever sometimes he would just get the ball, he'd just take off running.
Yep.
Because there was nobody that could be able to guard him.
Yeah.
So he kept putting them. As a matter of fact, Steph first, Draymond second, Klay third, because Klay wasn't as impactful as Draymond was. So Draymond had an advantage on that team that nobody else had. Who's gonna check him?
I put it to you like this, right? At the beginning of that series, I said it was going to be Golden State in 6, right? No Draymond, it goes Golden State in 6. With Draymond, it's a sweep. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's no disrespect to Steph, but the difference is that Draymond literally can guard all 5 positions. Draymond uniquely can get a rebound and push. And what that does, Steph puts tremendous pressure on the defense just because you can't guard him past
You
half
extend
court.
the way out 35 plus feet.
So that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. But what puts extra pressure on your defense is the power forward getting the rebound and pushing the rock, and you got shooters all around.
FIFA,
So
even
what are
an
you gonna
inbounds
do?
pass.
Even off of makes. No, forget it.
Shit
Even
was
off
crazy.
because typically, right, like when we talk about like the Blake Griffins or the other ball handling power forwards, it's off of a rebound, it's off of a miss. You know what I'm saying? You get it. You know the offense transitioning into defense is a little scattered. Nah, bro. Even off of makes, Dame Lillard come hit one of his deep threes. They get the ball out. Draymond's coming. And he's pushing.
Yep.
And it's a 3-on-2 situation like this off of a make that puts
That's crazy.
tremendous pressure, and that's the unfair advantage because when you have a superstar like Steph, they're already unfair. The Giannis's, the Kawhi, like that, like you can't guard that. You can't guard Steph. Steph, you be all up in Steph's mouth, and he be up. Bottom of the bucket, bro. No net.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? All nothing but net. All up in his mouth. But that cherry on top is Draymond.
And to give more respect to Steph, man, that series showed me that he not only has in the gym range, to me he's got on earth range. If this nigga's on earth, he can make that motherfucker shot.
He can make the shot.
Like that, he shot further than Dame shot that to close out Game 4. I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, Steph is not fair, man. Steph is not fair. Like I keep saying it. We've been covering the finals for the last 2-3 years.
We've been here for the whole run. Yep.
And bruh, if I had to check that little light skin, I'll elbow him in his straight face, bruh. You don't keep disrespecting me like this, making these damn shots. Like the one that he goes, Famous Los has this on IG. He tries to make like a no-look pass. It gets batted down. He goes to the corner. He gives up the ball. He runs to the other side. He didn't get the ball. He went to the corner, didn't get the ball. He cut, and then he cut across. Dame is on him. He pump fake. Dame goes past, and he leans and hits
like it's nothing.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah,
hell no.
Yeah, it just pisses you off.
You can't.
Then he shimmies at the end.
That's the shit that would piss me off. Them damn shimmies. I would have to elbow him for real.
Bro, I put it to you like this. Steph got glass ankles. He would have a glass jaw. He played in the damn 80s and 90s.
You knocked him out like Wilder,
bruh. Can you imagine him playing against the Pistons and he over here shimmying and doing all that? Watch the next time Draymond try to set a pick. Lambeer gonna clothesline that little guy, man. I'm telling you.
Giannis being exposed.
So are we done burying the lead?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna reset the show now. But first, before I do that, they can't see me on the thing. Hold on. Let me get this thing over a little bit here.
Yes, Steph, man, he's probably the most he might go down as like one of the most influential players ever. Look how he changed the league.
What was it like?
Look how he's changed the league.
When did it happen? Like 2013, 2014?
Ish, yeah. But
in like
just think,
5 years.
Just think
he
changed basketball. Like literally changed basketball. Like look who's shooting threes now. Like he pretty much eliminated the back to the basket centers. Like damn near. And like in the era where like he's like in the era that we in of athleticism, you know, and he's not that. Like he is the opposite of that.
He's just skilled.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's a 6'2", young, you know, he's not like a Jordan type of guy. He's not a Giannis type of guy.
Nothing
freak athlete.
imposing about him.
Nothing imposing about this dude, though. He's not a physical specimen like a Russell Westbrook. Like this dude is just a regular player, hitting three. The way he plays the game basketball, he's changing. He's changing basketball.
He's
literally.
changed basketball forever.
He's gonna go down as probably literally one of the most influential players. Probably the most influential player.
I was gonna
like
say
ever.
he probably is like
he's
top
shaking
3.
shit up. Yeah, he's shaking shit up like for real.
I think it's
We've
like
never seen nothing like
it's
this.
him, Magic,
Bust
LeBron.
that.
I would say.
We've never seen nothing like this.
Jordan, don't be disrespectful.
You said, as
He
far as
changed
what?
basketball, or he was
Yes.
just the best,
Yeah.
or he was
Yes.
the best basketball.
Changed basketball.
Come on, man.
Change
That's
basketball.
that's
Change
common
basketball.
knowledge.
Change basketball.
How? Like,
That's what I'm asking. Like, what did he
no, I'm
do?
just saying. Like, give me some like
From
examples, like
the
from-
area, from just his aerial attack. Like we've seen other players, Dr. J, Clyde Drexler, other players do it, but nobody do it at the level of Jordan.
What level? What level was he doing it at though?
Do you remember the play he had against the New Jersey Nets where he jumped damn near from the free throw line,
Fucking
threw the ball,
Dr.
like
J,
this?
fucking
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm
what
not saying,
from
but
behind the
change?
fucking back.
We're talking about change
Yeah.
basketball. Like,
so
like,
you're saying
because
Jordan
back-
ain't changed
no,
basketball?
I'm saying he's just one of the greatest. He is probably the greatest player to play basketball. But what did he do that
Yeah,
was
what did
like
he-
marketing and
transcended?
branding.
Okay, yeah, that's
That's a
not
good one.
on the court.
But
That's
that
off
was
the
because
court.
of on the court.
Yeah, because he's the best.
No, it's because he was jump man.
But like you said, we
Julius
got Dr. J.
Julius
we got-
Erving was doing that
Yeah,
shit.
but he
But
took
ain't
what they
nobody-
were doing to a whole other
To
level,
another
though.
level.
Like he
But you've seen it before.
You ain't
Not
saying
like Jordan.
not like Mike, and we still haven't seen it like Mike.
to the point Dr. J don't even get credit. I remember y'all used to argue with people. I was like, "Oh, Dr. J used to do that back in the day. What are y'all talking about?" Nah, man, Jordan was different. He got everybody. Like he is the NBA. So, anyway, all right. So I'm gonna read some comments from the chat. So Skackley said this is way better live. LOL. Appreciate you watching. Marlon Blank, Steven A really thinks the Bucks can beat the Warriors. Now he's changed his position on that, bro. Somebody asked if I was losing weight. You funny. Cozy Rito agreed with FIFO. Chris Middleton can't close out a game by himself. I agree with FIFO. You can't run the offense through Middleton for a whole playoff game and expect to win. Nobody said whole playoff game. We said OT.
Of course, even OT, but just to close it out.
He was
Just
all
to
right
close it out.
till he got it missed up.
Nah, man, he's not that guy. He's not that type player.
How you gonna close out a game with Kawhi on the other side? That's also cozy. Now that's valid because if Middleton did get off, they probably would have put Kawhi on him. So that's a good point. FIFO is off. This is JMO. FIFO 313 JMO. FIFO is off. Giannis team carry him that game. They played better in stretches without him in game 3.
Offensive.
And then Schligden 90. I don't hate Steph Curry. I don't know why people think that.
Well, you did admit that you was not a fan
It
of
was
Golden State.
no. It was the Warriors, man. They got on my damn nerves as a team. I have said on this program multiple times that Steph was one of my favorite players in the NBA before he
The hype?
became yes, because I love watching him. That I was worried, legit worried that we wouldn't get a chance to see what he is today because of the ankles. You know, and so nah, man, I love Steph. It was just everything that came with the Warriors. Maybe that's how anti-Heat people felt.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
that's
lo-
what it was. That's what
but
it was.
At
They
the
called
same
themselves
time,
the Heatles and all that shit. Like,
yeah, but at the same time, it was like a internal battle because I love Steph. I love everything about Draymond, even though he got on my nerves sometimes. So, and I love watching them play. But it was just everything else that came with it, that was
Yeah.
associated with it, that used to get on my nerves. And then, of course, LeBron would get there, and then he lost Kevin Love and Kyrie. And then, we know what happened year 2. And then year 3, they went and got KD, and that didn't sit well with me. So that was it. It wasn't Steph, man. Steph's that dude. I like Steph. So anyway, all right. So we'll wait to B get back before we go ahead and give you people. We know why you here.
boy,
So-
everybody's saying that now, don't you think?
About what
you know
KD
why I'm
said.
here? Yeah. You know who I am. You know why I'm here.
Man, one of the coldest lines this season, man. Like, I think that's going to be up there with Paul Pierce's "I Call Game." I think that's going to be right along with that.
They shouldn't even show these Rockets State Farm commercials, man.
Hey, man. They're going deep in the playoffs. This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead End Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me, as
You
usual,
wasn't recording all this whole time?
we're live.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, I
But
got you.
I'm just doing like the intro.
I got you.
And the recorder actually did stop. The car got full. So I reset it, but I'm going to put audio from the live feed. The parts that I missed, I don't think it was much. But anyway, so yeah, that's BC 430.
yes. Anyway,
Mr. Disrespect,
What's going on?
FIFO 24/7, and no response. Oh, okay.
Got no response.
Just all
Got
right.
it right.
All right, cool.
You know who I am.
So, Dead End Sports, man, we're coming to you live from Dead End Studios here in Atlanta, Georgia. Dead End Studios is also part of the Dead End Podcast Network. Go to deadendpodcast.com. Check out the other shows. If you like other sports talk, check out Chris Platty's Strictly Hoop Talk and B-Ball Talk. And then also check out Manny's Any Given Sunday. He's had a couple of good guests on there. I think he even talked to the producer-director that did the Felipe Lopez documentary.
Oh, for real?
that's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. So that was a pretty cool listen. So go check that out. That's on deadendpodcast.com, and you can find it, in your podcast feed. Right now, we're definitely going to get into, of course, the hottest news of the week. But in doing so, we are also watching Game 4 of the Bucks and the Raptors live. Right now, Toronto is up 72-60 in the third quarter with 8 minutes and 43 left in the quarter. It's not looking good for the Bucks so far. Shout out to Nick Nurse. I think he made some adjustments. It seems to me that he's kind of pulling a Popovich and trying to make Giannis a jump shooter.
We use that name too loosely. Let's just say he just coaching real well.
No, I said he's pulling a Popovich in terms of how they guarding Giannis. So I'm not saying he's like Popovich. That was everybody else out there in NBA Twitter and NBA Word that fell in love with Brad Stevens. So anyway, but yeah, man. So
this is why coaching is important in playoffs during NBA playoffs, because the adjustments that you see teams making, like
Yep.
on the fly, just like this from each game to game. Like that's why coaching is very important in the NBA playoffs.
and also why we never overreact to game
Right,
ones.
right. Never overreact to
Like
game
that
ones.
spin.
He
Never
love that
overreact
spin.
when teams go up 2-0, because if they protecting their home court, guess what? That's what
you're
they're supposed to
be-
do.
yeah.
Yep.
And Toronto look like they doing the same thing. They protecting their home court. So that's why you don't say series is over after freaking one game.
And that's
stuff
why
like
home
that.
court matters in the playoffs.
Yep.
And the other thing that they say is that's why when a road team wins a home game, that's why the cliche, we finally got a series,
Yeah.
is this.
Yeah.
These things are around for a reason.
Right.
So
It's like proven history,
exactly.
you know?
Yep. So unless the team is just extremely more dominant, we're talking about an 8-1 matchup or even a 2-7. So, but Magic Johnson, man, was on First Take. He had some things to say, man. Let me pull up this article. Let me get some of these quotes.
I was listening to the. I didn't finish the whole episode with the Bomani Jones podcast.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
listen.
he said that him and his co-host for High Noon, they came into work early that day.
Oh, really?
Just to see, just because they knew Magic. I think it was like 2 weeks out since they knew he was coming, and they made sure they came early that day. And they just wanted to see the ruckus because I think Bomani came in the building. He was like,
Bring the ruckus.
how's what's Magic on? What are you talking about? And one of the producers, I think they said he's singing like a canary.
Man, he. You know what's interesting? He's obviously trying to protect his reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Protect his brand.
Yep. He's trying to say, look, it ain't me. It ain't what you think it is. And also, what we're starting to hear is, and what some of us have already known, is that this is who he is. He's always been this type of guy, but he's been this guy without social media and without 24/7 coverage. There's a story in Ramona Shelbourne's article where she wrote that that he's always been very vocal. He's always very emotional. He's going to say what's on his chest. Pat Riley said that that's what he loves about him, but that's also what he's cautioned him about. So this is par for the course, but people haven't really seen it because what do they see about Magic? The smile and everything like that. And Stephen A. said something very interesting. He said he'll be around you, he'll smile, he'll chop it up with you, he'll hang out with you, and probably won't even like you because at the end of the day, he's a business man. and it's never business, not personal. It got personal to him because of what they were doing, according to him, behind the scenes. So what was surprising for me was when he named names. Like
He named a name.
he named a name. Stephen A. was like, so who else was? He was like, nope, just Rob.
Just Rob. Just Rob Pelinka. That's all. When I talk about betrayal, oh yeah, just Rob Pelinka.
Backstabbing. Yeah, that's Rob.
That's Rob. And Stephen A. Rob Pelinka, right? He had to make sure to get the last name. Like, yeah, it's him.
Yeah, no, just him. But then this is what Magic does, man. He talked all that shit.
Once you get him going, it was just yap. He was this boy. He was Temptations up in there. My girl, talk. He was singing, boy. He was singing the whole time.
But the best part is that after he tore the man down, he was like, but I'm still a Laker fan. You know, that's why we here. We still, I'm here to support
What did
Rob.
you say when you started off? He's a businessman.
Yep, he's a businessman.
He's always going to keep them connections tight.
And he always, come on, man. He's arguably the greatest Laker of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever happens on the business side, like personally, he's always going to be tied to the Lakers. He wouldn't be Magic Johnson if it wasn't for the Lakers in the time that he played for that organization. And he understands that. So I don't think that he'll ever mar the situation to the point where Magic and the Lakers aren't synonymous.
But at the same time, it's like when you say all that, like Magic knows this part of where the Lakers franchise is at right now is very key. It's like a key point in their franchise history. And on top of that, so if you know that, you go on First Take, one of the biggest shows in the sports world, and you talk about the dysfunction and the betrayal that goes on in the franchise that you know and love. How does that not fall back on Jeannie? If you were only trying to come at Rob, like they chose.
Oh, he blamed her too, though.
Yeah, because remember, he started off by saying that when I sat down with Jeannie, I said, look, I got a lot of businesses, so I'm not going to be here every day.
Right.
Is that cool?
Is that
with you?
okay? Right.
Yeah, because he
You
said
said
3
cool.
years. He said 3 years.
Yeah, I was planning to be here 3 years, right? He sat down and said, is that cool with you? She said yes. I'm the president of basketball operations. That means I make the decisions on basketball stuff. You okay with that?
Yes.
Yes. So if he now is trying to make decisions.
He laid that out. He already laid out the
already
ground.
laid it
rules.
out. I got the okay, which is the reason why I took the
I got the
job.
okay from the owner.
You know what I'm saying?
I got okay from my boss.
So I'm taking this job based off of these things that we clearly laid out. And now when these decisions start to come about, I got guys from finance. I got Rob Pelinka talking shit behind my back. And you going to side with everybody except me? It's time to move on. It's time to move on.
You know what
That's
I thought?
his business.
Yeah, and that was him. He definitely made a business decision because I can't get anything done.
Exactly.
And when this all go left as it is now, because I can't get anything done, it's gonna fall on my head. He said, "So I'm out of here."
I ain't gonna be here.
and you know, and that was real, man. He was like, this is not it's already bad enough. I came to a team that was already rebuilding anyway. So I didn't have the talent that I really needed to win. And when I got a guy that I needed, I couldn't even get the coach that I needed to make this all work.
And I had a feeling that had something to do with it. Like, he wanted to fire Luke Walton. They wasn't going to let him. And I think that was kind of like,
And that's the thing.
that was it right there.
It's like, what the hell does Luke Walton have that everybody wants for some reason in California?
No, but they said it though. Like Luke is not, or Magic said it. Luke is not a bad guy.
He's a good guy.
No.
This game ain't about being a good guy, bad
but,
guy.
But understand that relationships mean a lot in the NBA. And
Obviously,
personally, he has great relationships with obviously a lot of people in that organization. Former Laker, played under Phil Jackson. Obviously, coached under Steve Kerr. You know, so there's a lot of ties and stuff like that. And he's a great person on top of that. So you want to believe that he is going to get over that hump. But when you remember, we talked about this last week. When you add a LeBron James to the pot, it expedites everything. And unfortunately, maybe you can be the coach that we need to win a championship. But we got LeBron. We got to win now.
He was the coach when he had the young guns because
Exactly.
the stakes wasn't as high.
Exactly.
And the other thing is he also said, look, I need my own guy. And everybody says this, another one of those common sayings, that when you change
Yep, the top. The coach is going to go to.
the
But
coach
then why-
is more gonna
Unless
go.
you got a Hall
But
of
then,
Fame
if,
coach.
but then if we know this, why wasn't it practiced out like
So
that?
they also said that too. And everybody's also saying this. Is because they are one of the few, if not only, family-run business still left in the NBA. So she's making her feelings, her connections are caught up, like Raph was alluding to. Everybody else make business decisions. She hasn't got to the point where she can make a business decision yet because they're all family and friends, which is why the Ramesses are involved and screwing everything up. So and that's the problem. So and I think Magic said that, until she gets all these people out of her ear, until she gets to the point where she's just going to be the final person to make a decision, it's going to always be like this.
And then it goes back to what I was saying probably about coming up a year ago from now, as far as last offseason. I was telling y'all, like, this is a showcase for free agents. Everything they do this year for the Lakers. And now you're looking at all this Magic's, again, like y'all said, singing about this stuff, the dysfunction. How can they get a Kawhi Leonard? How can they get a
Because I still think it's L.A. And I think that brand
that's
matters a lot.
Well, the brand,
Not a lot. That's the
the
wrong word.
city more so, just L.A. living. Number two, you got LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, the Lakers are always going to be somewhat attractive versus
Yes.
other organizations.
Of course,
regardless of the dysfunction, right? So with that being said, you still have arguably the top 3 basketball player in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Before he got hurt, they were in playoff contention. You know, so there's still a lot to be said about the Lakers.
But as far as what they got going right now, like, they got a head coaching situation that we all know is going to end up being an issue. It's going to end dramatically. with
Only
Kidd
if
and-
only if people don't play their roles. Apparently, from what we've
When
heard,
have they done it so far?
because Vogel and Kidd already know what's up. So as long as they just stay in their lane and Vogel just stay in his lane, then it'll be fine. Now, if they didn't sit down with them and said, look, in a year, Kidd's going to be the job, but we need you to be the bridge to get him there, then you're right. But because they sat down and told him, like, this is it, unless Vogel starts winning and feels some kind of way about it, that's when you'll have the issue. But if he understands and is cool with it, then
But you're kind of already setting things up for failure with that.
It is, and here's the thing.
Maybe,
right?
maybe not.
First of all, with the contract negotiations with Tyronn Lue, that's not how you handle business. That's number one. Number two, as the hierarchy of that organization, how do you impose assistant coaches onto a coaching staff?
Thank
and
you.
you didn't even hire the head coach yet.
Thank you.
So all of this, including Magic Johnson's interview, reeks of dysfunction. And the Lakers are not built for long-term success. They're just not. But, it's a big but, LeBron is the one factor that can make it all work in the short term.
But he has to be engaged for that to happen.
He's
right?
engaged.
It's basketball.
But
LeBron is engaged.
Do you think he's engaged?
he was
right
at
now?
he was at the coach's introduction.
Yeah, because he had to.
Like,
Like,
he didn't have to be.
LeBron-
He didn't have to be.
He had to for his sake, because we crucified.
LeBron-
Or at least for me, we crucified him.
That was a
all
business
season.
decision. And
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, it
and
was.
I put it to you like this: the reason why LeBron is engaged is because he can't miss the playoffs again. He can't. He cannot. As great as he is, as much as he's done, 9 straight finals, 3 championships. What is everybody saying right now about LeBron?
He washed
People are
up.
questioning LeBron.
Washed up.
Are
And
we
he-
really questioning
And
LeBron?
he's hearing all of it.
We know he does, right? So if you say that he's not, he's gonna come out next season and come out here like, bruh, I'm 22 again.
He's talked
Watch.
to Frank
But if
Vogel.
they-
They've had a good conversation,
Will
an
he-
encouraging one.
Will he come out that same way if they don't get a top free agent?
Yep. I put it to you like this:
Because he's never really had one anyway. I mean, he's had, but
not top free
but-
agent.
wait.
Outside of the when he and Bosch both went to the Heat, what free agents signed to
You're
LeBron's
right, because
team?
nobody wanted to go to Cleveland.
They all traded
Yeah,
for him
yeah.
or got drafted by.
Yeah.
him. So at the end of the day, again, LA, that lifestyle, stuff like that. But I think LeBron is going to be internally motivated, regardless if I get a free agent or not. I'm making the goddamn playoffs. Even if I'm the AC, y'all ain't going to be talking about this like I'm a bum. I ain't Kyle Lowry. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna go out, man. I'm telling you, watch. Because think about how LeBron was playing earlier in the season. Were we saying that he was a bum? He was MVP. He was an MVP candidate before he got hurt. Am I wrong? Or were people really talking about LeBron as an MVP
No,
candidate?
He was
like
definitely
28, 8 and 8.
because they was the number 4 seed when he went on Christmas Day before he went down.
So we're talking about a team that was a lottery team the year before. You bring on LeBron, and now you're the 4 seed. So why is he not going to be more so than ever to be internally motivated to be a dominant player?
Because because it has to get to a point where he just gets tired of it, right?
Okay.
Like this is essentially his last contract, right? Like he may just.
He's gonna get one more after this.
Not if he doesn't want it to
That's
be.
what I'm saying.
Go
If he because he's LeBron, he could control his destiny.
Yeah.
Like I think when he signed with LA, he was like, let me just get a chip with them, and I can go out to the sunset, and I can stay in the city that, that I'm playing with because he got all these side deals going on in LA. So for me, it was just like, how much because he doesn't like playing with younger kids, rookies and stuff. He don't really care for that development.
Is that true?
Because that wastes time. He shipped off Andrew Wiggins.
He wanted Kevin Love.
But it cost Andrew Wiggins' number 1 pick.
What have we seen?
How many
Andrew
times?
Wiggins, though?
Exactly.
But we didn't know what Andrew Wiggins was going to be at the time.
In hindsight,
right? Yes, it was a great decision. It's a great decision. You got a chip.
Well,
not
possibly,
even that. Look at what Andrew Wiggins is now.
Yeah.
A super underachiever.
Well, I'm just going off of the results. Like, you traded a player to go get a championship.
But they didn't win that year, though.
No, they didn't. They won the second year. So, but for me, it's just like, for him, like, and again, that's why I had to say, like, I kind of feel bad for him, and I kind of take back most of the criticism I had was because he's dealing with all this dysfunction that's falling onto his shoulders. Because, like you said, the only saving grace.
I don't think it's falling onto his shoulders.
But I'm saying,
wait, what do you mean by that?
Because the only saving grace for all this going on is what you said, Fivo. But because LeBron James. We all expecting everything to be right because of LeBron James. How many times are we gonna keep saying that before? It's like he gonna be like, bro, I'm tired of always doing that. I've been doing that all my life in the NBA.
I think
except the Miami days.
Yeah, I think LeBron, as we've said on the show before, exposed the Lakers' dysfunction because now, everybody's looking at them, and they've had to make some changes because he's there because they're trying to win a chip. I think this is definitely falling on a more on Jeannie Buss. Nobody's really look at this. Nobody's like LeBron is honestly somewhat of an afterthought in terms of bearing responsibility for what happened or what is happening. It's more like how kind of, and maybe I don't know if this is what you're saying, how is he going to deal with it and get through with it?
Exactly.
And what I'm saying is that because he's always done it his whole career.
But it gets to the point where like we can't keep on like he can't be the only factor that makes this thing go. Like you have to put him in a position to win. That's the main thing.
And that's why
we've always talked about his career. Like he's never had a Hall of Fame coach. He's never really had a guy continuously in his career that can help him out when it comes to being a solid number 2. And it's like, not only is it hard to get into playoffs in the West, now you're dealing with all this dysfunction on top of that. They still don't have a president or whatever the hell Magic was doing. His position is still not filled.
But that adds to the greatness of LeBron. Like when his story is over and done with, like that's partly of what we're going to be talking about.
But if he doesn't make the playoffs again this season,
no, that's not barring injury, right?
But I'm just talking about in general, regardless injury or health. If he does not make the playoffs again, what do we say about him? That all falls on him, right?
It depends on what happens with the organization.
Exactly, it does.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors in that. Because he didn't make the playoffs this year because he got hurt.
Because actually, this might be the best thing to happen to him in terms of his story.
Time off, and he
not just time off, not in terms of how the story is going to unfold. Because if this don't ever get right, they're going to come back to this year and this moment and look at this time and be like, man, this thing was a disaster because Magic left. There was infighting. Jeannie Buss don't know what she's doing. And they are going to end up blaming the organization more than LeBron, probably. depending on what happens and on what unfolds.
I just don't see how this ship gets right. Lou. I don't see how they become a playoff team
So-
unless a free agent comes.
No, I put it to you like this.
Mhm.
I think that the Lakers are definitely going to be scarred. I don't think that they're going to be able to overcome the dysfunction. And I think because LeBron signed, 4-year deal?
Yeah, he'll be 3 years after.
A 3+1 or something like that?
No, I'm saying like it was a 4-year deal. The first year's obviously
Okay,
gone, so we got
yeah.
3 left.
So you got 3 left. So I think before his contract is up, I think he's going to request a trade because I don't see Pelinka pulling off the necessary moves that is going to require to build that team around LeBron.
I think they trade him. I don't even think he goes up to the front office. I think they just say, "Hey,
They're not
bro,
going to trade him.
pack your bags."
They've
No,
already
they
Man, if Rob Pelinka's snaking on Magic Johnson, what do you think he gonna do to LeBron James?
because LeBron at the end of the day is money.
Yep.
put butts
But
in
if you
He
just
put
said they the
butts in the
biggest,
seat.
you said they the biggest brand ever. They don't do they?
And they're even
Is the
bigger.
Lakers? Is who's bigger? Who's the bigger brand right now? Is it the Lakers or LeBron?
LeBron today, right now,
Because
for the next 3 years,
look at the Lakers.
LeBron.
When you think of Lakers, you think of mess. Front office horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bad stain on the Lakers organization right
Then
now.
I go back to the question: then what free agent? Like if Rob Pelinka ain't the guy, Magic was the guy who brought LeBron in, right? That's what
Right.
he gets credited for.
So
Now
if he
Magic's
brought him
gone.
in-
You got Rob Pelinka, the snake that don't nobody like.
I
No,
put it to you like
no
this.
agent wants to deal with.
Look, LeBron is a lot like Jay-Z, where he teaches these players game. Follow my lead. Do what I do. If don't go for the sexy 5-year deal, 4-year deal. LeBron's here for 3 years. I'm signed for 3 years. Organization, you got 3 years to get this shit right. That's it.
But these guys looking for max deals.
And you can give me max money. You don't have to give me max years.
And LeBron plus the Lakers is more money. So that's why they're not going to trade him because everything went up when he got there. That's what Magic said. So they're not going to trade him because they lose all of that. So if they dealt with Kobe and all of that losing and that contract they gave him, they'll tolerate this. So I think that I think it's going to get right, FIFO. It was funny because Rob Pelinka was doing damage control
Yeah. Did you see what he said?
in terms of how decisions are made.
No, his conversation with Magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said all of that is false.
Yeah.
He said we were just talking cool. Like I was just got off the phone with him.
And-
Like, we were just-
yep.
I'm like, man. I don't-
Yep. But like Stephen A. said, he'll make you think everything okay.
I'm just
but
saying, look at all these NBA players and like you saw how Boogie Cousins was talking about Sacramento when he left about the snakes in the grass. You see how
George Karl.
Kawhi Leonard, how when he left San Antonio, snakes in the grass. AD
okay.
with the Pelicans, snake. Like you see these people don't like messing with these type of characteristics.
Yeah.
So why? And now we just talked about how the Laker brand is looked at as a mess. It's just the
Yep.
brand itself right now. So why? So LeBron James
And I'm
coming off
hearing-
of injury, like. I'm gonna tie my career to this for the next 3 or something
yes,
years.
I think so.
I
Because
if that was my son, I wouldn't advise. I'd like go to the Clippers.
I would. Because if you got a chance
You
to
can still
win
be
it,
in LA with the Clippers.
if you, what holds more value? Winning a title as a Clipper or winning a title as a Laker?
What holds more value? Period. Winning a title or winning none.
That's not what I asked you.
Just based off their history behind the Lakers and all the banners and everything. So yeah, it was Lakers will hold more weight. But
In the next 3 years, you
if
think
you
they gonna win
can
the title?
if you can
They
go to the
can.
Clippers
I'm
and win a
asking you.
title,
Go ahead.
you
Wait, hold
think-
on. Go ahead.
no, I'm
finish
just
it.
saying. But if you can go to the Clippers and win a championship at the Clippers, a team that's been like paper bag, like a joke, that holds some type of weight.
That's
too,
what
though.
I was
But
telling
I
you.
get what you're
Hold on.
saying. No,
But I said that to
get
him
what you're
yesterday.
saying.
I said if
What you gonna
Kawhi
say?
And we know that the history of the Clippers has been paper bag.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the last 10 years. It hasn't been paper bag. They've been a winning organization the last decade.
Winning as in making playoffs and stuff,
And
but
not being a laughing stock of the
Yeah, they're not a
NBA.
laughing stock anymore. They're
But
far
still-
from it now.
they still not winning a championship.
I
though.
feel you.
If you can win
I
a
feel you.
championship,
No, of course.
You know what I'm
all
saying?
of these teams that haven't won in years,
Right.
decades, or whatever.
Or like,
you
oh,
can bring
ever.
a championship and you're the main
Man.
card for that reason. Of
Man.
Got a
course,
statue
of
for you right
course.
up there.
That'd
next
be
thing.
nice, but you do
But
it
the
as a
Lakers
Laker.
brand,
Yeah, the
it's just
brand-
like,
Which is, I know
it's
you
like,
agree
like
with
Yankees,
that.
it's like the Yankees.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
winning for the in the NBA is winning for the Celtics or winning for the Lakers because they have such a storied
The
history.
two most historic
If you can
franchises.
add to it, you are amongst the Wilt Chamberlains, the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, all of these guys. Like your name is next to their name.
I get the sentiment and going down memory lane, but in the next 3 years, I'm asking each one of y'all, do y'all see the Lakers win the championship?
I think they can. Yes,
It's
absolutely.
impossible.
I don't see it.
I'm
Yes,
too
I'm
much
saying
of
yes. I said yes.
So you
no.
saying yes?
You know
I'm
why I'm
saying
not
no.
saying yes?
I'm saying hell no.
I'm
I'm not
with
saying
Nick.
yes
I'm
because
saying no.
there's still
I ain't
a
gonna say
guy
hell
out
no,
there.
but no.
There's still a guy out there named Steph Curry, bro. There's still a guy out there named Steph Curry, and in the next 3 years, he's still gonna be Steph Curry.
That's why I
That
say
team
no.
can still be the same just without KD.
Right.
And Denver's getting better. Portland, we
And
always
they
talk about
might
they,
keep
I don't
Boogie
care
probably.
about
You never
Denver.
know. They
Yeah.
might still keep Boogie.
they
for
might
the
keep
long.
Boogie.
Yeah.
He'll have a whole year of rest.
Yep. So yeah, I
I
say
like
no.
their
I say
odds
no.
of winning one. So I think so. I like their odds with LeBron. You add a Kawhi or Clay or somebody like that to it.
Clay Stanley goes
They-
to state.
okay, so
He'd be
forget Clay.
stupid
I'm
to
just
leave.
naming free agents. So let's just say Kawhi or Kyrie. If you add them to LeBron with all of their other young talent, so you don't have to give them away, then I think their chances go up
But
even higher.
my thing is, why not go to the why would they pick the Lakers over the Clippers as far as which organization is the most well run, who has the most respect, who is in a position to win now?
Because they're not winning the title in 3 years. They're not winning the title in 3 years. So you'll be well run. Oh, that'd be great.
You saying if Kawhi and Kyrie go choose the Clippers instead of the Lakers,
Let's just say they only get Kawhi. That's not a championship team.
that's better than the Lakers.
No, it's not. Kawhi and LeBron is way better than Kawhi in LA as a Clipper. Both of them are champions. You see what he's doing? You know who he is. You see what imagine
I'm
him
just-
with LeBron.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, why would Kawhi's a smart dude? Like, he's only with the Raptors because he forced the issue, and that's where he ended up. If he could choose where he wants to go, and he's a quiet,
He go
low
to
key
LA.
dude,
He go to LA.
he'll go to LA, but he might go to. It's gonna be the Clippers.
Might be. It all depends.
I mean,
And
I think he'll only go to Clippers if he knows if Clippers bringing another superstar over there. I don't think he's just gonna go just yeah, because Clippers got enough.
It's Toronto West.
Right. So I think if
It's
he
better
if
than
he
Toronto
knows
West. It's it's
Nah.
LA.
Yeah, if
Los
he-
Angeles.
if he
Whatever.
knows somebody else is going there like a Kyrie or a KD, I think Kawhi to go. He'll leave Toronto in a heartbeat. In my. I don't even see why KD would want to leave Golden State. Why would you want to leave that situation?
Because people talking shit and they get into his head.
So you got thin skin, huh? Pretty much.
I think that
That's like you said.
I mean, why would you leave that
Why else
situation?
leave
Think
unless-
about it. Like, why?
because-
he got his rings.
yeah. And
Why
the
not win
thing-
more?
But the thing is that even if he wins more, does that elevate him in the pantheon of all of the greats?
if he
I
gets
mean-
enough rings, it's gonna
Nah,
elevate him.
it won't.
Nah,
it
it
won't.
won't.
You
Nick.
say there's no amount of rings that will
Nope.
elevate? All right,
Nope.
y'all just
Nah.
come on.
Nah,
what
bro.
are we?
Why
Why we
struggle
keep
though?
moving the
But
goalposts?
why leave that
Nobody's moving the
situation in struggle?
goalposts.
Why,
This
why,
has always been the goalpost for me.
why leave that situation in struggle though?
No, I feel
because if you're great,
Legacy.
you shouldn't struggle. Exactly, it's about legacy. And then you were talking about holding more weight for franchises that haven't won in a very long time. If you're that great, why can't you do that? You've already proven that you could go to a 73-9 team and win a couple championships
why-
and be Finals MVP.
Right.
Why not go to the Clippers? Why not go to the New York Knicks? Why not go to the Brooklyn Nets and be like, hey, I'm the best player in the NBA, and I'm going to prove to you why. Because I'm going to get this squad to the finals, and I'm going to get another
not only you,
championship.
but everybody else that's been talking shit.
Exactly.
So
this
why make the move based off what everybody
That's
else
what I'm saying.
about
You're basically saying that.
legacy and competitive spirit? So, excuse me.
That
So,
struggle shit overrated, man.
huh?
Boy,
I said that struggle shit is overrated.
From a
man.
Cincinnati, Detroit nigga, this shit is
That shit is
overrated.
overrated.
What
man.
struggle?
I want to win.
Exactly.
No, I feel
Not
you.
having no
Yeah.
titles.
But that's the point, B. He's already won.
Exactly.
So he has his
I'ma
two
keep
titles. I know you. I know, but the box is already checked. You want more? You want to keep checking the box?
I want to keep checking them boxes.
So, and I understand that.
I love
that's,
ball movement. I love the way we play ball.
That's you
Everything.
as a competitor. You
Yeah.
just want to win. I don't care
Yep.
how I get it. Give me the chips.
Yep.
I don't care if I'm Robert Horry. Give me the ring.
Give me the rings.
KD is like, I got my chip. I got two. I might have three. So not only that, I'm gonna go down as a 3-time champion. I have 2 final MVPs.
Mhm.
If I go to another franchise,
But stop right there.
No, let him go. Let him go.
No, because I'm gonna let you finish. How come that's not enough to prove that you're the best player in the world?
Because at the end of the day, guys like him that's always been second, who always want to be first, he has something to prove to other people. You have guys that have that certain type of dog in him, and he used the cheat code to get his title. Now he wants to, like FIFO said, I'm going to show you and everybody else that I can do it by myself with a storied franchise. So now I'm building up my legacy, because right now in a lot of people's eyes, those 2 rings going to have asterisks by them, because he did it. He got the accolades and the awards, but he really
You
didn't.
think it was the way he did it? You think it's just the way
It's
he
the
did it?
way he did
But
it,
that-
man.
but
Make your situation easier. You know what I mean?
that's something
Wait,
like
wait,
what?
wait,
What
wait,
other?
hold on.
Y'all
FIFO, man,
looking
if you
at-
got it, if you just if
Make
you
your
on your
shit
own,
easier.
you doing your own podcast at your own crib, right?
Mhm.
And then Dead hit you up and say, "Hey, bro, we like your talent. We see that you really holding down your market. Come join us, bro. We can increase your numbers 3 times. We can make you a big personality, and all that." You gonna say, "Hell nah, fuck y'all. I want to bring my own shit."
No. I will go, and then once my numbers get big, I'll be like, I'm gonna go do my own shit.
Look at what Colin did. Colin kind of did the same thing. Hey, I built up everything
Yeah, but
here.
that was because of the back. But he was dealing with some
I
bullshit
mean,
at ESPN
but
too.
it's still kind of similar. Like, I built everything up. People know who I am. So now I'm going to go and better my situation.
Yep.
And that's what KD's going to do. KD needs his own. KD probably feels like he needs his own legacy, his own identity, because right now he doesn't have that.
Because let's be honest, is that KD's team? It never has been, never will be. It don't matter how many Finals MVP he wins. It don't matter how many championship he wins. That is Steph Curry's team.
Is KD better than Steph?
It's not about that, Nick.
I'm just asking the question. Is KD better
He
than
is a
Steph?
better
Yes.
overall
So
basketball
you're saying
player than
that the
Steph.
guy whose team it is, that guy is better than him, yet we still don't respect this guy because it's not his team.
Yep.
Yep. Look
So
at what Steph
that to
Curry
me,
doing.
that's just opinion based. That's not
That-
facts.
that's
That's-
not opinion.
nah.
The facts is that he's better than
What's their
Steph.
record without KD?
Exactly.
Okay, that's you're including regular season with that right
I'm
now.
including
They only got
this. I'm giving you
they only
data.
got
I'm giving you
They only
stats.
got 6 games in the playoffs where he's not played and they won 6-0.
Okay.
Outside of that, everything else is regular season. We don't care about regular season like that.
With
We're talking about
supposedly
playoffs.
with the best player on the team gone, they're 6-0. With the best player on the team not playing,
Can that happen to LeBron James' team?
they're 30-something and one.
Can that? Well, it did happen to a Michael Jordan team, but can that happen to a LeBron James team? Can that happen to a Kawhi-less Toronto Raptors? Can that happen to a Giannis-less Milwaukee Bucks? Can that happen? Okay,
Do
Boston,
they have
yeah.
do they have the players that complement KD like Golden State compliments? Do they?
The Bucks do? People think that the Bucks are going to win a championship.
But,
Nick.
but they don't have no shooter like Steph. They have no shooter like
Nick.
Clay. And they have no guy like Draymond
Nick,
on any of those teams.
Nick,
Doesn't matter.
to add to it even more, I think they have a worse record when Steph don't play when KD plays by
yep.
himself.
Look.
But what does that mean?
That
No,
means
wait. What that means is this, and I've said this for years on this podcast, right? KD is the best player, but he's not their most important player. Steph is the most important player. The reason why KD is better than Steph is because KD is a 7-foot shooting guard, bro. Give Steph 7 feet and see what happens.
Okay, so let me
And
ask.
see what
Let me
happens.
ask you this question: If Steph was the one who was hurt and it was KD's team, and it was just KD and everybody else,
Mhm.
do you think that they will be still in the same position they are in the NBA Finals?
Of course, because the rest of that team.
So then what are we talking
No,
about?
I don't think so.
So then what?
No, they'll be going to the finals.
y'all disrespecting KD.
No, I'm not disrespecting KD. What I'm saying
KD's
is,
disrespecting himself when he was up 3-1 against Golden State and lost.
How you,
That's
that's
true.
an
And-
emotional
and-
reaction.
no,
That's
it's
not.
not.
That's
based
not
off-
an emotional
no,
reaction. That's
facts.
facts.
That's
That's
facts.
facts.
No,
when he
that's
didn't show up
facts.
in the fourth quarter in Game 7.
But since then, he's shown up, and like you said, he's a
because
two-time Finals.
it's easier.
yes.
Look, to be great, pressure makes diamonds.
Did he not make big shots? Did he make key plays?
On an easier
Exactly.
championship team, Nick. Not when he
It wasn't all on him. He knew if he missed shots, well, shit, let me just go give it to Steph. Shit, let me go give it to Clay. I ain't got to make no plays. Get that shit to Draymond. I'm going to go chill in the corner if I
He made
have
all
to.
the big shots in those finals.
It don't-
He did because there was no pressure on
Right.
him. Because it wasn't do or die if I made or missed this. There was do or die in OKC. Because we know what Russ is. But if I don't make this shot, we not winning shit. But in Golden State, I missed 3-4 shots. Oh, yeah, Steph got me. Oh, Clay got me. Steve Kerr going to run the right play.
Does this not sound like disrespect to KD? Like he
Look,
It's
It's
been
like-
KD's career.
No, I'm just saying, like y'all basically saying, like, oh, he really ain't shit to this team.
look. What I'm saying.
That's what
is
y'all
this.
saying.
No, what I'm saying is this: is that before KD,
Go ahead, say it, kid.
before KD joined the Warriors,
He ain't
we
shit to
gave-
the team. Yeah, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
That's
don't
what-
He is. He is.
Why you
He
telling
is.
the juice?
I told you.
Don't give him the juice.
This is all right. I'm
He
done.
ain't
Go ahead.
shit.
Y'all go ahead.
You
Go
know
ahead.
why?
No,
What's
go
the
ahead.
record without KD?
Go ahead.
Ken,
Talking about
look.
73 and 9?
Ken, we on the same side.
73 and 9.
They,
and-
I don't
and-
think
they
so.
lost the 3-1
we on the
lead.
same
I don't
side.
think so. He said
Because-
he ain't
because
shit.
Look, listen. Before KD joined the Warriors, we gave fair criticism to KD. Excuse me. KD came up very short
Yep.
in a lot of
Yep.
playoff series.
He did.
Before he joined Golden State, right? Just like LeBron did. And sometimes players need to overcome that hump in their career to then continue that type of presence and dominance, right? LeBron wouldn't be LeBron without the 4 years with Miami. KD wouldn't be where KD is right now today without however many years he's been with the Golden State Warriors. But pre-Golden State, the man shrunk in so many big moments. And I'm pretty sure you forgot this because I know you're not going to mention this, but I am because I remember doing this show. KD missed big free throws down the stretch against Memphis. Memphis beat OKC, bro. And I want to say that was the James Harden version of OKC. And KD was missing free throws to put away Memphis in the playoffs.
Yeah, man.
That's not the type of KD you talking about right now. He missed shots. He missed free throws. He had turnovers.
I'm not saying KD doesn't have his faults. Like you mentioned, all great players do. There's a point in time where all great players didn't show up when they needed to, but they've overcame later on in their career. Because I remember that KD you remember. I remember KD in the finals where he averaged 35, and the rest of his team didn't show up, and they only got that one victory. It was a gentleman's sweep when they played the
Miami.
Heat. When they played the Heat. So it's like, of course. But my thing is this. Like B was saying, why do we have to make it so hard for you to be great? Why can't you just be great? Regardless of what situation you're in, if you winning, you winning.
Because there's different levels of greatness. Great isn't great across the board. Greatness, there's levels to this shit. There's levels to everything.
What did Tyrion say last night? He said people love stories. What was Breon doing? She was writing a story in that book. KD wants his story written in a certain way. He doesn't want his story to be written with him taking an easy way out.
But that's because we putting that on him.
KD's putting
That's
that
not on
himself.
him. He
But-
didn't come out and said, I took the easy way out. I need to go to New
Of
York.
course not. But look, man, he went to a 73-9 team.
Because he was tired of losing in OKC.
Okay,
He went to
but
any other
Nick-
team.
Nick, okay, so you're saying we're putting that on him. He's not putting it on himself. What if KD's like, man, I've done everything I could here. I'm good. I want to go to New York, and I want to try to win one by
challenges.
myself. It's
New challenges.
yes,
Look,
absolutely.
let me tell you something about being competitive, right? Competitive doesn't mean easy. And what you're saying in your argument, what I'm hearing, what I'm interpreting is that it's easier for KD to win with Golden State, correct?
Yes.
As a competitor, like Ken just said, what else do I need to prove with Golden State?
And I'm asking you this. So let's say he goes to New York, Brooklyn, whatever. Some team that hasn't won a title in a long time or if not ever. And he wins a title with them. What does that say about his legacy?
Oh, that's going to add to his.
It's-
If you
it's-
win one in New
are-
York,
What about the Golden State history? Are we still having asterisks on those championships?
it's probably going to be.
No, it's gonna boost those championships. It's gonna boost them
If he wins in New York.
If he wins in New York,
how
or
would it
somewhere-
boost them?
because-
Same way that LeBron did when he won in Cleveland. It's going to add.
Because they pretty much erased the Miami ones almost. I mean, it elevated it, but like when he won in Cleveland, that
In
was
the
their
way.
first time
ever.
ever that organization ever won a championship. He brought a championship to that city for the first time since Jim Brown.
And-
First time ever for Cleveland Cavaliers. So to me, that damn near like erased what he did in Miami because it's like
why?
shit.
But why? My question
I'm
is
saying?
like why? Because it's harder. We respect it.
Yes. Why do we give Jordan so much props? The man couldn't even get out the first round. Then he finally overcame Detroit, and then he went on to three-peat 2 times because it was so hard. Everybody says that era was way more physical, which it was, right? People say that players were more skillful. I disagree, but it was a physically harder era to play in, and he dominated that. because of the constant challenge, we elevate Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time.
You're a Knicks fan, right?
Yeah,
When was the last time they won a championship? In the 70s, right?
yeah, with Phil Jackson.
KD win
Walt
a
Frazier.
title in New York, bro.
No, I'm going up there building a statue for him the
Man.
next day.
And KD got to be sitting around talking to his boys like, man, if I get a title
So
in New
what if
York,
you do it with AD and Kyrie there? Would it still be looked at? the
But
same?
he's still
Well,
the
it's
guy.
still-
Yep.
That's
He's
my
the
thing.
guy.
Is like, but
What if
that's
he-
but that's the help that he's similar
because
getting in
because
Golden
Ky-
State.
Kyrie has proven that he can't win one as
Exactly.
number one guy.
Kyrie's a sidekick. He's not the guy.
AD can't even make it to the playoffs as the number one. Well, he made it once. But in how many years? 7, 8.
Yep.
So he's proven that he can't be a franchise guy.
But to me, that sounds like Miami 2.0.
KD at least has proven that he can get to the finals. He
And that's not
lost.
Miami 2.0 because D-Wade won a championship by himself.
I know
Yep.
KD would be the one.
And LeBron, was constantly knocking on the door, right? Before Miami. He was still that great. He was still the best basketball player in the NBA. And Chris Bosh got Toronto to the playoffs. And Chris Bosh was a 2010 guy. So he was the equivalent of AD, right? And LeBron was just on a whole nother stratosphere, and D-Wade won before LeBron. So it's not the Miami Heat 2.0 because KD is the main cog as to what you're talking about potentially three-time Finals MVP. That's what we're talking about there. How many Finals MVP Kyrie got? None.
He should have won.
It would change KD's whole
career.
legacy, bro.
I just feel like we as fans, we put these players in ridiculous situations just to see if they can get through it. Like we keep moving shit just because because it fits our liking of what we consider tough.
I just
and
think he
hard.
shouldn't leave. That's all. I just think he should.
Yeah, B's like get as many as you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I say
he should
stay.
be able to be respected as a champion regardless of what situation he's in. If
I'm
not
KD,
everybody
I'm-
wins.
If I'm Katie, I'm smiling seeing them balling without me right now. It's just like shit. When I come back, it's on. Like we about to go.
But
ahead and get
everybody
this
in the
shit.
media is saying that he should take that as what? As they don't need him. That this should be more of a,
I mean, yeah, that's
a
what the
reason
media
for him to
saying,
leave. That's
but
what I'm saying.
just talking about if I'm Katie, I'm like shit. Hell yeah, we balling, baby.
But-
when I come back, it's a wrap.
But that's
like,
a good mindset. Everybody
yeah,
else is on
it's a
like,
wrap.
oh, this proves that they don't really need him. He's icy.
KD's mindset. KD's
Man, we talking about
mindset.
KD. I mean, he's shown that he's sensitive to.
Yeah,
what
but
the
that's because
media-
we keep talking,
Yeah.
like we keep putting that negative
And he
energy
shouldn't.
out.
He shouldn't trip, but I mean, he does got sensitive
Yeah,
skin like
I'm-
that. I mean, KD's sensitive. He's proved us plenty of times that he's sensitive. Like this dude had burner accounts on Twitter.
Exactly.
This dude
yeah.
is sensitive.
And at the end of the day, even
That's
though
why I
I'm-
think he's gonna leave, but I think he shouldn't leave, but I think he will end up going to New York.
I want to see him leave because I want to see it. I would love to see if he could go to New York, who's been just as
or
dysfunctional,
Clippers.
huh?
Or Clippers.
Now
I got faith in Jerry
Let's
West.
just stick to New York right
I
now.
got faith in Jerry West.
B, you've heard I don't know if you heard the reports, but
I
it's,
know.
yeah,
It's pretty. Yeah, I know. I'm
But
just.
keep your faith.
Because shit. Hold on.
Oh, something new came
Yeah,
out.
hold on.
We got a text from Stephen A.
I know, right? Some new came out about him going to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Jerry West, man. I'm telling y'all. Don't be
I-
surprised
'cause-
if you get Kawhi and KD over there, man.
Because I heard that even though they're more stable, players are still afraid of Dolan. They're still afraid of Dolan. And they're still worried about him interfering.
I don't know, but I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. Because New York, let's not forget
I
New York is a
mean,
mess still.
I'm
Only
right
thing
now.
they good at is
It's
the coaching.
better, but they're still worried at some point.
Yeah.
He
Why
gonna
not
But
go
what
to
can
the
Dolan
Clippers?
do? He's just the owner. He just paying everybody right now.
Okay, and Genie not fucking shit up.
No, but I'm just saying.
Right.
But Dolan's been all the way back.
And-
I haven't
and-
heard him say shit.
So
in
Mark
since-
Stein.
Mark Stein.
Mark Stein says LA has emerged as equally dangerous a threat to the Knicks to sign Kevin Durant away from Golden State.
See?
And that's Mark
You
Stein.
still out
so
in
that's
Cali.
credible.
You still in beautiful Cali.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You got a good coach. You got a stable front office from the owner to the GM to the coach.
Yep.
And you got great role players around you.
I would.
Don't sleep on I'm
Now-
telling you,
I would
not
even say
sleep on
this.
that.
But
I would. Hold on.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
would even say this: the Clippers have better role players than the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
Role players.
Yes, they
not,
do.
Not the Clays
yeah.
and the Stats.
Yeah,
and
I
those
would
guys.
agree.
Right, right, right.
Everybody,
Everybody
else.
else.
They got the best
Dude.
non-superstar roster in the NBA.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come back to you.
You got a
Nick.
6 man of the year coming off the bench. With
Bruh.
Kawhi and Durant,
Bruh, that's a that's
that's a
multiple
problem.
championships.
Patrick Beverly, you got a dog in Patrick Beverly. I don't know what they're gonna do with Gennaro, if they're gonna keep him or not. But if they keep,
He out of
Yeah.
there.
I would
If-
keep him. I don't know how
is
much
he on
money
contract?
he makes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how much money he makes.
Because
It's
if
all
they
about the
keep
money.
him and then you got Lou Williams and Kevin Durant and Kawhi. I'm Kevin. If I'm KD, I'm staying in either Golden State or I'm going to holler at Doc Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you.
So I'm gonna come back to you, Nick. Kawhi and KD, that's a championship team in that 3-year window. So that changes things. So if KD goes to the Clippers, I can see Kawhi saying, "Okay, yeah, I'll go there."
My thing is the Knicks still have the 3rd pick, and they could use that as collateral for the Pelicans to get AD. My thing is like I'm not trying to convince KD to stay in Golden State. I want him to come to New York. I'm just saying, like, for one, I think his legacy is fine. I think at the end of the day, his career is he's gonna be a top 5 basketball player of all time. But for right now, I think as far as where he goes between LA and New York, it all depends on how the Knicks make, like, what decisions they make going into this offseason and how they use that 3rd pick.
Yeah, I think KD, in terms of where he ranks when it's all said and done, yeah, I think that will remain intact. But what's going to happen is it's going to be a yeah but attached to him when they talk about, his career. But his ability to play, that shit won't ever change because KD's still that motherfucker. And he's always been that motherfucker since coming in the league. Man, this shit, it's over.
Toronto they playing some swarming ass defense.
And you know what? This is where if Milwaukee wins this series, this is where they lost it. Because Golden State at home chilling.
And they should be going up 3-1.
And they got to play 2 more games.
Yep.
What's that, 50-40?
50-40-90, man.
It'll be 3 more if it goes 7. Because it looks like both teams are securing their home court.
If this goes 7, that means the team, whoever wins this,
ooh, man,
they got to play the 3 days later.
Ooh,
they have they have neutralized
up by
Giannis.
19 with they have.
Well,
They have.
It's easier when you have a guy like Kawhi out there.
But have you seen the type of defense they've been playing?
Yeah,
But this is not new because I remember in the Philly series, I was so surprised at how many 24-second shot clock violations, and they're doing the same thing. Not as many, but they're still doing it.
I know.
They're still doing it.
That's what I was telling Ken that. I was like, they guarded Giannis like how they guarded Embiid.
Yeah.
Just as soon as he touched the ball, right there.
Yep.
Let me see what the chat's saying. What y'all saying in here?
That's crazy, dude.
Brandon Luciano, I think Durant knows deep inside his rings don't hold no weight. Winning just one in New York greater than Warriors rings.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's just like LeBron.
Or Clippers.
This is
one in New York or Clippers.
This is a side note, but I think Hulu got the curse on these basketball players. Embiid got knocked out. Dame knocked out. Giannis gonna get knocked out. Hey, Hulu has live sports, boy. This ain't looking good for them, boy.
Let me look at this
That
box
superstar that y'all was telling me about, what happened to him?
Who? Which one?
Oh, yeah, you don't even know his name no more.
Oh, Dame.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I was talking hella shit in the chat. Y'all ain't say shit.
Nah, because you be talking crazy.
I mean,
Look at what they doing to Giannis. Ain't that your boy?
I mean,
he getting shut down.
They still had 2. They got at least 2 games. FIFO said 6. They got their 2 games.
But you saying Milwaukee can beat Golden State if they get there?
In 7.
And they can't even beat Toronto.
I don't know.
They still up on this. This game ain't over yet.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this game
every
over.
Time
This
Milwaukee
game over.
gets close.
Then here come Toronto.
Toronto moves
Toronto
that
weather
lead
the
to 12
storm.
or 14.
Yep, they weather the
every
storm.
time.
They
Yep,
weather the
so
storm.
Now this game's over.
This game over. We tied. This is a 3-game series now. This is a 3-game series with 2 games being played at Milwaukee.
Y'all think this goes 7?
I think it's gonna go 7.
I think so. And
I
I'll still say
I
the
think
Bucks.
Milwaukee gonna lose. They gonna win the game 5. Come back here. Toronto gonna be hyped up. They gonna win game 6, and it's gonna come back to Milwaukee for game 7.
You know, I think Kyle Lowry listens to our podcast because
You need to apologize.
Man, that
He been
dude's been
balling.
balling.
He called him a bum earlier this
Yeah.
year.
Man, he's been
he's
balling.
he's a bum, but he's balling right now.
Man, he's been balling. Even the last round,
Yeah.
even a couple of those games in Philly,
That
he,
Pitbull.
he stepped up, man.
Yeah,
he
did.
stepped
He did.
up.
I can't front.
Yeah, he stepped up.
There was a story that came out that Ibaka told the team that just because they're down 0-2, it don't mean anything. They talked about when OKC was down 0-2 to the Spurs.
To Spurs,
and
and they won 4 straight. Yeah,
And
they won 4 straight against Greg Pop.
yep. So and look at that. He only had 19 points.
Right, he ain't even like getting off, but
Because his
he's
team is finally showing up.
But he's
to-
there defensively
home
though.
court.
So
Yeah.
their defense is really good.
Their defense is really good.
But let's be honest, right? Like watching this, and we were talking about KD and Magic and all of this other
Yeah.
stuff. I was watching Milwaukee miss like 3 4-point blank layups. You can't beat a team in the conference finals,
Right.
And you
Missing-
miss shots like that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna win games because these games come down to a couple of possessions realistically.
They're all
And-
close.
Exactly, and if you're missing shots from
Right.
2-3 feet away,
Like
you're
Brook-
not gonna win.
Like Brook Lopez, if your three ain't hitting, dude, get your big ass down low. Jesus
Is that
Christ.
Bledsoe? They
Yeah.
left him
No,
out.
they called. They
Yep.
called.
It
They
was
called
just a-
something.
yeah.
I think they called.
Oh, that was
something.
T.O.
Oh, I didn't even see him.
DJ Wilson. So here's what happened today. Let's see. After blitzing, so the Warriors are leaving Lillard with few good options, squashing the Blazers star at the point of attack. After blitzing picks and rolls just 4 times per game in the first 2 rounds of these playoffs, they're doing so 18 times per game in this series per second spectrum. Rarely does Lillard call for a pick without 2 Golden State defenders absolutely swarming him.
Yeah.
That's what happened
Golden State
today.
was watching film. Golden State was studying film.
So
big
where
time.
was the adjustment coming
From
from
stop-
the player and the
But
coach?
But that's difficult because at the end of the day, right? Like Portland is very Dame centric, right? The point of
They
attack
are.
is with
It's
Dame.
with Dame. Yep.
And if you take him out, and that's been Portland's Achilles heel. We take Dame out, Portland is out.
Let me
And,
add.
and even as good as CJ is,
They need a
they
3 and
still
D.
that other
They
guy.
need a 3 and
They
D,
need that
man.
other guy that they don't have. Can you imagine if KD played in Portland, bro? It don't matter what you do to Dame.
Yep. Don't
CJ
matter.
and KD
CJ.
gonna go off.
Yeah. It don't matter.
They don't have
They
that
don't have
other
that-
guy,
yep.
that other
They don't
guy.
have that 3 and D.
And let me add this last thing. In game 2, Golden State blitzed Lillard 19 times. That isn't just the most blitzes Lillard has faced in a postseason game in his entire career.
Yeah.
It's the most any player has faced this
Yeah. You
postseason.
can't. It's,
It's just taking them out.
it's taking them out.
Right.
Yeah, it's just,
See,
it's
because
taking them out.
here's the thing, Nick. In basketball, you can take away. It doesn't matter how good they are. One guy, you could take him. If you're gonna say, I don't care what nobody else does, but this one guy ain't gonna do nothing, you can do that, right? Like look at Kawhi tonight, right? He played in the flow of the game. They didn't really try to take him out, but if Milwaukee said Kawhi ain't getting more than 20 points in this game, they can do that. But obviously
Yes.
the Kyle Lowrys, the Ibakas, the Marc
Yep.
Gasols, they're gonna get going. And they're going to get blown out because these guys are going to get wide open shots, right? Dame don't have outside of CJ. Who else he got?
But-
Aminu.
But for me, it's like it started since Game 7 of the Denver series, where he was.
But he closed them out. He didn't have a good game, but that final
He hit some
stretch,
close. Yeah.
he closed
See,
them
even
out.
though CJ closed out
CJ
the most, but
yeah,
Dame hit
that's
some. He did hit some clutch baskets.
And that-
he
and
hit
that's
that
what I
clutch
mean.
three. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
He had some 3-pointers. He had some
Named
shots
timely
that,
baskets.
that was very timely. Even though overall he didn't have a really good game, but when it was needed the most, Dame came through. But yeah, CJ definitely was like the hey, take us home kind of guy. But Dame hit
CJ
some
was the
timely
most
baskets.
consistent in that series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't in against the Golden State
No, he
Warriors.
wasn't.
'Cause
Nobody.
They got his
took,
ass
they took,
too.
Yeah, they got him. They got him good because he was. It was one game where he shot like 5 for 16. Like he was shooting bad, man. They both were shooting bad.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same philosophy that we had when we played. Look, it come up on the 15-year anniversary when we played Lakers and the Pistons back in 04. Yeah, let Shaq go down there and dominate. Ben, you just handle as much as you can handle. Do as much as you can do. If Shaq get 40, cool. But what we're not gonna let happen is Kobe get off. We're not gonna let Devin George get off. We're not gonna let all these shooters get off. As long as we contain these guys, Shaq can get his 45 and whatever, and we'll do whatever after that. So that's what they was doing with Dame. That's why they was blitzing him so much. Couldn't do nothing. Like FIFO said, they so Dame centric. It's like once we take Dame out,
And that's not even Terry Stott's fault. That's nobody. It's just how they're built,
Right.
And they don't have the financial flexibility to really go get that other guy that they need.
just like the Portland, that Lakers squad didn't have that third person. They just had Shaq and Kobe.
Shaq and Kobe,
And that was it.
And that was
they
it.
didn't have that third guy.
Mhm.
And we ate
And
them up. Because
they-
me and Ken was talking. We got to
Yeah.
talk about this shit coming up on 15-year anniversary. We was looking at the stats for that series. Some of those stats I forgot about. And, like, how horrible Kobe was shooting. How horrible Shaq, like, It was crazy looking at those numbers. I'm like, man, it was one game we held them to 69 points. Entire freaking game. The LA Lakers, we held them to 69 total points in 4 quarters. I'm like, oh, we got to talk about this because this coming up on the 15-year anniversary of that. We got to talk about that. I want Rod to be here for that, too. Because Rod remembers that series, and I know he remembers that series like I do. Man, that was crazy.
And they're about to give Dame the Supermax.
Yep.
Yep,
Better
for
get
year
broken up.
191.
So
You got to. I mean, you got to.
he's
they ain't got
smart.
no choice. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
they
how
just
sell
gotta
tickets.
do better to build around him. CJ.
They better listen to me and FIFO. Give him a 3-and-D guy. They're gonna end up looking
Not
like the
Aminu
Clippers.
and Harkless. They could even play him.
I know.
You got guys
I
like
know.
that.
Evan Turner.
Even
Evan
even
Turner.
Yep.
McKinney and Looney
Yes.
and Quinn Cook playing
And-
way
and-
better.
And here's the thing, right? Like,
Please.
it's not like Portland's not trying, just like the Clippers didn't try.
Right.
It's just there's but so many of those type of guys that if you don't get one.
Yeah, it's not.
But Portland was up like 15. They lost in the same way in 2 back-to-back
Back
games.
games. I know.
But
So
here's the
like,
thing.
what? How do you explain that?
So that's more Golden State than Portland. That's more Golden State than Portland because when Golden State wants to ratchet it up, they can do that offensively and defensively, right? For them, and you've seen it throughout the playoffs. They don't care about dominating the entire game. Stay close. Fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go, we're just gonna blow you out. If we don't blow you out, because the Golden State run is right out of halftime. Right, the first 3-4 minutes of that third quarter, they be blowing team. That's what it. Most of the times that they blow a team out, that's where they blow them out. Right. Portland is better than that, so they was able to withstand those runs. Just keep it close. When it comes down to it, who can out execute Golden State right now in the NBA, offensively or defensively? Nobody. So as long as they stay close, and that means under 20 points, they're gonna win the
But
game.
when you don't have KD, when you don't have
Doesn't
Andre Iguodala,
Doesn't matter.
it don't
Doesn't-
matter.
It don't matter
Nah.
because it doesn't matter because, and I've said this too.
You get 30 from Leonard.
It doesn't matter because Steph
worry about
Curry
the le-
is the most what's the word I always use? It's not devastating, but he's the most what's the word I always use?
Important.
No.
Why are you thinking about that? Leonard had 30, but he had 25 in the first half. Second half, he only scored 5. Who cares about that?
But I'm just
30?
saying, but that's a big contribution that you're
Not
looking
if you
for.
don't. Not if it don't carry over.
And this is at home.
Hey man.
I can't think of the word, but either way, Steph Curry is the most devastating player, right? Because think about it, man. Like this is and watching Golden State made me truly realize over the last 3-4 years that 20-point leads ain't shit in the NBA. Because think about if you're up 20. What is it for Golden State to get 3 turnovers or a turnover and 2 missed shots against a team? That's nothing, right? Like that happens in a stretch. What is it for Golden State to hit 3 straight threes? If you're up 20 and I hit 3 straight threes, your 20-point lead is now 11. You know you're going to call a timeout. Let you miss another shot and see what happens. That 20-point lead in 4 possessions can now be 8 with Golden State. What is that's not going to take me no 10 minutes of a quarter. That takes me a couple of minutes, and your 20-point lead is now a single-digit lead.
And when the other guys don't value the ball and they make game-changing turnovers or plays, there were again Aminu had a rebound secure. Iggy came out, poked it out, and next thing you know, Golden State Warriors score eight straight points, and they back in the game. Just
like that.
secure the rebound and value the possession, but they weren't doing it. They played terrible.
So with that being said, that's the reason why it doesn't matter how much Portland, Milwaukee, Toronto, whoever they're playing is up by. It doesn't matter. If you're up by 20 with 2 minutes to go, that's different. You up by 20 with 7 minutes to go, or you could lose that game easy.
Because you're at the end of the day, you're not scared of anybody else on that team outside of CJ and Dame. Yeah, Leonard can go in and get his 30. They ain't gonna beat it. He had other secondary guys that would at least play better than them when they took out Jokic and Jamal Murray. At least they'll still be playing. Terrible. So, all right. So we're gonna close out with this game unless there's something else. But yeah, I'm looking at the box score.
Real quick, I just want to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
the Dante Wilder and Brazil fight.
Ooh.
Okay, hold that. Let me do
Okay.
this real quick, and then
Okay.
I'll let you close out with that. Nick Powell probably changed the series, man.
Mm-hmm.
18 points, 13 threes. He shot poorly, but he jacking them up 32 minutes. So he's spreading the floor.
Sweet.
But yeah, it wasn't a Kawhi game, but Gasol and Kyle Lowry. This may be definitely home court cooking, for sure.
For
so
sure.
we'll,
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll see what they do in
man.
Game 5.
Yeah, they look like the way I'm looking at this box score and the way they played. They definitely were
I can
way
see,
more
I can
comfortable.
see they Milwaukee have to look at the film
Yep.
because this defense that Toronto played against them tonight, they need to study this film tonight. They need to go into the film room tonight, like
Plus,
right now.
Yeah, you get that one win, the monkeys off your
yeah.
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 6 or 7. I think y'all already said.
Yeah, 7. I
So
say
you
it's
think
gonna be
7?
Yeah, I think it's gonna go 7.
I'd say
How you feel about your pick now?
Yeah.
I'm still confident. I think
Okay.
So you
Milwaukee's
still Milwaukee against Golden
Yeah.
beating Golden State?
Mhm.
Why?
Just in this series. Are you still
Oh,
confident
in this
series?
series for
Oh, in this
Toronto.
series.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with the way Toronto came out today, because I told you they was gonna win when, when
Yeah.
we came in, because the pressure was just too much for them not to show up. I still say 6. I'll go 7. I'll go $7. I think the Bucks.
Bucks gonna win Game 5.
Yeah, I think they take care of home court.
Lose. So
Okay.
pretty much take care of home court.
Just take care of
Lose
home
Game
court.
6, come back Game 7, finish it out.
Yeah,
And then you say they're gonna beat Golden State in 7?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
On
just-
they have home.
They have
They got
home
home
court.
court. Yeah, that's my main. That's my main foundation for it. But I just believe. I mean, they got the
Okay.
Giannis commercial going on right
Well,
now.
let's wait till
You
we get there
think-
first.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But I think
Right, because it might end up being Toronto. Hey, you know,
I don't. I can't see it. Toronto don't have that much consist. Like this is an outlier. Like look at FIFA. FIFA really want to say Lowry trash every game, and he's having outlier games.
I think it's gonna go 6.
Toronto.
He gonna say Toronto.
He gonna say Toronto. He just want to be
That's
a
why he
damn
really does.
troll.
He wants to be.
I don't know. I
contrary.
honestly don't know.
Yeah, I think this is a
don't know,
very
man.
difficult series to pick. I'm gonna go with.
Amazing what 2 games can swing a whole series around like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Milwaukee in 7, just because I think that. I agree with you. Like it's gonna be the home cooking series.
Mhm.
Whoever's at home, I think is gonna win.
Because what series was like this? It was this playoffs too. Oh well, yeah, Golden State, right?
No, and last year with Cleveland and Boston, the only home loss that Boston had was Game 7.
Yeah, or even with Boston and Milwaukee last year, it went 7 and Boston won because
because they had home court.
They had home
That's
court.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Boston did not win a playoff road
On
game
the road,
last year.
yeah,
they
yeah.
always won at home.
Yeah, so
So it's one of those things. I just think home cooking. But in terms of the finals, though, nobody.
well, let's
cares.
wait.
Yeah, let's wait till
Golden
we get
State.
to
that.
Just
No,
give
we
it
ain't
to
gotta
him.
wait.
any-
All right.
Right, we don't gotta wait
because it don't
Just
matter.
give it to
Because
him.
it don't
It
matter.
don't even matter.
It don't matter who makes
Give him-
it.
No, I'm with you.
Give
Yes,
him the-
I'm Warriors.
Give
I'm
him the
telling you.
give him the trophy. Give him the trophy right
it's
now.
still games still got to be played.
I know, but
I'm
give
gonna
it
go
to him.
Raptors in 6.
Okay, Raptors.
I'm
in
gonna go
6.
Raptors
So they
in
about to,
6.
so they pretty much about to win 4
Alright.
straight.
I think the adjustments they made on Giannis, I think they carry over.
You know you the
Coach
Drake of
Bud,
this podcast.
so Coach Bud ain't gonna make the adjustments. You don't believe in Coach Bud?
He didn't in this game.
What did I
It's
tell
on-
you?
this
What did I
is your
tell you who
home
he
court.
is? I told you I said he's a game to game adjustment. He doesn't do in the game. He does it the next game.
I know, but he's had a whole game. He had game 3, and he did.
They didn't guard him like this. They didn't guard him like this in game 3.
So I think, I think they're gonna win 4 straight.
Wow,
I think they're gonna win 4 straight.
that's a heck of a statement.
So
Isn't that interesting? Van Vliet and Brogdon is like the same
It's
guy.
like the same guy, right? Like literally the same guy.
that's funny.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Giannis, man, they his statistically he looks great, but he is not having an impact on the game.
Nah. He gotta get some home cooking.
And confidence is a motherfucker.
It is. But I think Milwaukee Milwaukee probably think like we going
And-
back home. We
Yeah, like-
we got control of
Don't
this
forget
deal.
the Raptors stole game. I mean, the Bucks stole game 1.
They did.
They really did. They did. They really did. They really did.
You know what's been a big difference for this Toronto squad? It's been Marc Gasol. His consistency, especially in this series, from 3, and also making plays for them,
What's wrong with Kawhi?
his really changed. Look at that. How many big men make that pass? These two passes that
And
they just showed.
he took that pressure on because the game they lost, the last game that the Raptors
played
lost,
horribly.
he was
Now,
like it's on me. I gotta step up.
A couple of podcasts ago, maybe a month, I mentioned Paul Gasol in the Philly series. He laughed at me. He kind of dismissed me and waved me off.
Who waved you on?
I
This one.
Oh,
I
really?
did because I said that.
He said this one.
I said that he didn't have nothing for Embiid, which he didn't have a great Philly series. Marc Gasol.
His size, his presence was enough, but Embiid just wasn't healthy the whole series, and he played like shit.
Ooh, let's shoot.
All right. So before we get to Deontay Wilder, we need to fix the teams
Drake
that are no longer because we didn't do that, right?
No, we did it.
All right. So what are the teams we need to? The Rockets were one, right?
We talked
We
about
did talk
Portland
about-
already, right? 'Cause-
Did we?
Yeah, because we basically said they needed.
Yeah, we
3
kind of
and
already
D.
talked
Yeah.
about
Okay.
Portland.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Um,
even though that's
yeah.
even though it's
So we
Just
got
happened.
Boston, we have
Philly.
Philly, and we have Denver, and that's it.
So okay, let's start
and the
with Denver.
Rockets.
Oh, yeah, the Rockets. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, so let's start with the Rockets then. I think the Rockets, and this is just me. It's time to blow that shit up because they not close.
I am 100%
What do you mean by blow up?
with
blow,
you.
blow
Blow it
like
up.
like
Yes.
like
Everybody?
Trey Harden.
Trade
Harden?
Harden?
Oh, whoa,
Yeah, you going
no,
to-
no,
I
no.
thought you mean like blow up all
You
the
gotta
rest
sell
of them.
tickets, bro.
Because,
Yeah.
because here's the thing, like, if you get rid of everything else, like, what else you gonna bring? No, for real. What else on that squad has value?
What are you bringing into when you're trading?
What else has just answer the question? Outside of James Harden, what other player has true value in the
Eric
NBA?
Gordon.
Nobody.
They're going to got some value.
What do you, second round pick, role player?
You
In
get
terms
a
of
you get a
trade,
player
what would
for
you-
Nobody.
You're not getting nothing that's better in return than what you're shipping out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
again value, right? Like, what am I getting that's better than what I have right now? Nobody but James Harden has value on that roster. Nobody.
So start with
of
him?
I would trade him. Everybody that thinks that they're that close to like okay, so like I would
People always trying to trade somebody.
Boy, he either say their career over, they done in the city.
Look. I would hit up David Griffin and be like, "Oh, you want to keep AD? Give me Zion. I give you James Harden. You know what I'm saying?
Give me Zion,
Give me
James.
give me multiple first round picks. Give me. What I'm saying is Houston needs a true restart because the CP contract. If you could get up out of that, you got to get up out
I
of that.
told y'all from jump that contract was horrible.
And I agreed with you from the number standpoint, but it's what you had to do.
You
It's
ain't
like
had
the,
to do.
it's
Same
like the
thing with
Kobe contract.
with the Clint Capella shit too. They got two bad
That's
contracts.
the one. Capella he got fat. He got that money.
He got
man,
fat off that contract.
and he
His
was
pockets
like,
got
man,
fat
I'm
and he got
good.
fat
I'm
too.
good. I got my
Yeah,
big
I'm
contract.
good.
It's almost
Same-
like
it's-
Hassan.
I was about to say Hassan Whiteside.
Just
It's the
like
same
Hassan.
Yo.
I
shit.
got 100 mil. Nigga, I made it.
Yeah,
That's,
I made it.
it's the
I'm good.
it's the $100 million center curse. Anytime you give a center $100 million, it's the worst thing you
But
ever
it
want to do.
depends on the center.
No,
Because Joel Embiid don't
DeAndre
give
Jordan,
him
same thing happened to him. He got paid and
Yeah,
did
he got
shit
paid.
since.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah.
But DeAndre Jordan is also a dependent player, just like Clint
At
Capella.
the time, we all thought. It's the
But
same
Capella
shit
was
we all
supposed to
thought.
be the part of the big three.
Yeah,
But so was DeAndre Jordan. But that's why I have issues with dependent players being part of your big something.
No, I feel you.
just-
I feel you.
we can go back to Ibaka in OKC. When
Nah,
he-
because Ibaka continued to get better.
But he
They just
elevated
made the
his
wrong
game.
decision. They kept
Yeah,
the wrong guy.
they picked him versus James Harden. They
It was
should've picked
money.
James Harden.
Yeah.
So
it-
you
Wait a
so
minute.
so FIFA saying blow it up. What you got, Ken?
I'm not trading Harden, but I'm with him on blowing it up.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay,
with
I agree.
I
I
agree
agree with that. I still
Blow it up.
you
Like, it's
can't-
time.
You gotta
can't-
sell tickets. It's still a business. You gotta-
Or what about this? Let the coach go, because
They're gonna sign him to an extension already.
You're not gonna win with that. With the way they play, you're not gonna win under that.
but
D'Antoni
he's
system.
giving them the best years, right? In the last few years.
True. And I also told
You're not
Ken this.
gonna
This is the reason why they fired their defensive coordinator. Because to me, this is a warning shot to D'Antoni. Motherfucker, we don't make it to the finals next year. You the next one gone.
No,
He should be the head coach.
There's a report that came out. They're giving him an extension. He's not
This
going
year?
anywhere.
Man,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Coaches get extensions all the
And
time.
get
and get fired
fired
the next
yeah.
season, bro.
Yeah, they do. They do. It just be on that. It be
I-
on that team and still pay him. But
Okay,
they
I
still-
understand.
Yeah, Mike Brown's still getting paid by the Lakers, ain't he?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Mike Brown still getting paid probably by Cleveland still. You know Harden, man,
That-
getting head coach money,
That's
being
He's an
assistant.
assistant on a winning team.
So nah, man, look.
CP3 out of there. Send him to
All of
LA.
them.
I
All
don't know
of
where
them.
you, but who's
Let
gonna
me
take
with his
that
buddy. Send him with his
contract?
buddy
Let-
LeBron.
Yeah, the banana boat.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all. So since this, y'all say y'all would keep Harden, you think Harden would fill more seats than Zion?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's a surefire
Here-
product
here-
versus the unknown.
Here's
I know
why.
it's a no,
Because
but-
he.
Hey, this man brought Barack Obama to the Coach K. To the,
Oh, Zion.
yes, Barack. When they was about to play North Carolina, Barack Obama came, the game where he bust his shoe out. That was Barack Obama was at that game.
I put it to you like this.
Seats was selling for like $1,000 a pop, dude.
Hard is winning and giving
It
them.
don't matter though. But he look.
He might be the reigning MVP.
I think there's only 3 players in the NBA today, right now, that can outsell Zion: LeBron, KD, Steph. That's it. Every other basketball player,
Man, this dude is
Zion
box
will fill
office.
in
He is
more
box
seats
office.
in any arena,
But not
than them
in
3.
Houston. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I
going to
think so.
add to it because they
I
already
think so.
going to see Harden anyway.
It doesn't
They
matter.
love what Harden
And
does.
you know what? And I give you that.
But that's
And
a big drop off because you're
It's
blowing
not
up.
a big
No, I'm
drop-off.
saying you're blowing up the whole team. So all you gonna have is a guy that can just dunk for 42 games.
Doesn't matter. Look, Daryl Morey already sold them on a rebuild, and he's already followed through on that, right? Remember when Daryl Morey took over the Rockets? He had nothing, and he pulled off the James Harden trade, right? And I didn't think James Harden was going to be James Harden, not to this level. I don't think nobody did.
No, yeah,
outside
nobody.
of Daryl Morey.
Nobody did.
Because I remember that first week that he had with Houston. Think about it. He didn't do no training camp with Houston that year because it was after the training. It was like
yeah.
right before the season that trade went down. James Harden came out scoring 30, 40. I'm like, oh, that's just a fluke because he's happy he's by himself.
Right,
and I'm
right,
like,
right.
well, goddamn.
I was like,
Nah,
yeah,
he's
I was
not-
like, golly.
So James Harden actually took that leap. So all I'm saying is Daryl Morey already started with nothing before. Daryl Morey, to me, is one of those GMs like a Sam Hinkie, or not Sam Hinkie,
Sam
but
Presti.
Sam Presti, that, bruh,
Overrated.
whatever. He will do whatever it takes to make the best moves possible. And the reason why I'm saying get rid of James Harden is because of the value. Because everybody else, you're just gonna get the same thing in return outside of draft picks.
I do feel that James Harden is just this team's version of T-Mac.
He is.
But he feels more seats than T-Mac because T-Mac was never MVP, and I think they loved that.
I was
I
gonna say,
agree.
and with the Sam Presti slight that you just tried to pull, Sam Presti drafted the last 3 MVPs.
Yep.
So I made it out there.
Don't
So
matter.
It
Boston,
does matter.
Okay, fine. If y'all
Boston.
think
What we
so.
do? How we fix Boston?
Get Kyrie
Addition-
out of there.
Addition by subtraction. Addition by subtraction.
That's
That's
out of
all
there.
it is.
That's all it is.
So
That's all
Kyrie
it
gone.
is. Yeah.
Anything
Ooh,
else?
I'm
Terry
pulling the
Rozier.
tape.
Terry Rozier
I'm
gone.
pulling the tape on all y'all motherfuckers.
Is Terry Rozier
Look,
gone?
you already know me. I am backtracking. I was big time Kyrie, but
Terry
but,
Rozier
but,
gone.
but it's also that relationship with the coach. I thought that, because Kyrie was talking about before he got the ball, saying he wanted to be challenged intellectually about basketball, this, that, and the third. Obviously, we thought Brad Stevens was going to be that guy.
and then
And
what
Kyrie
Kyrie
was
came
like,
out and
I'm
said,
just Kyrie.
no. I'm going to add to that. Not only am I just Kyrie, I'm a basketball genius. He
Yeah.
said he's a
He
genius.
is. He did say
Kyrie
that.
said he's a genius.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
He a genius with the ball. I mean-
exactly. But you're not a genius.
He wants to be because everybody say LeBron's a genius. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm a genius too.
Yeah,
I think he want to be Kobe. I don't think he want to be LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. But to the intellectual point, it's like, yeah, I wanted to be challenged intellectually. I think he may have gotten there and be like, shit, well, there ain't nothing else he can teach me. I'm the
I'm
genius
good.
What did
now.
we say? What did we say about Kyrie beginning of the season?
Who?
I mean, he was like, I'm gonna put a tape on all.
Oh.
y'all. What do,
I
I
don't
don't
man,
remember.
for the last
I don't
2
remember.
years,
They're
I
not
don't-
better.
I don't remember.
To me, I still believe they're not better without him. But I
Yeah.
think they will play.
He-
They'll play more efficiently
That was
without
what
him.
I said. I said they don't need Kyrie.
I don't
said
think.
that
I don't
last
think they'll
year.
get further than
You
what they
said
got.
that.
Okay.
And I still stand true where if Boston can get to the finals, they need Kyrie. Because you're not winning the finals without Kyrie and without Jason Tatum taking that.
Wait,
that
hold- I
jump.
want to make sure I understand you. Not they need him to get to the finals, but if they get to the finals
They need
they are
Kyrie.
going to need him to win the finals.
Yes, they need.
They
the
just
shots.
got to get there, and they can't get there with him on
I
the
feel
team.
you. I feel you. So it's
Was it
Gotta
chicken
trade
or the
him.
egg?
yeah.
So what you do? You just trade him?
Well, he's a free agent.
He's just gonna
He's
walk.
gonna walk?
So
Okay.
that's why I said addition by subtraction.
And you really
yeah,
don't
that's
lose
his
much
crazy.
because you only traded out T.
Do you
Yeah.
trade for Boston? Do you trade some of those picks and some players to get AD right now? With
AD
how-
don't wanna go to
'cause, like,
Boston,
let's
man.
Yeah,
say,
I don't think AD would want. And here's the thing.
but let's say Kawhi stays in Toronto. That's
Mhm.
twice in back-to-back years.
Mhm.
A big-time free agent
Stays.
stayed in a team they got traded to.
Mhm.
AD does not want to. I don't care what AD says. AD does not
Wanna
want
play
to
for
play in
Boston.
Boston.
We said the same.
So you think it's either New York or LA for him? For AD?
I think it's LA.
I hope it's New York.
I don't see how LA makes sense because of where they
I'm
are. in the
thinking.
draft.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Only
let
their
me add a
draft
little
pick
bit
makes
more.
sense.
LA 2020. That's what I think. So what happens?
Oh,
this
so
year?
you're saying when he
So I'm
becomes a
thinking
free
LA
agent.
2020
Okay,
as a free agent.
I got you.
So if they
I
want to
think
rent him
Pelicans
for a
will
year,
try to get rid of him because I mean he's already
you
made
can't
it
let
clear.
him walk for nothing.
Yeah, he's already made it clear that he doesn't
If
want to play with
Griffin,
him.
if
Yeah,
Griffin
true.
before the finals is over, Griffin still can't get him to stay. He's gonna move him out as soon as June 30th hit.
And here's the thing. I definitely think that if a trade happens, AD's going to New York because Griffin is very smart GM, and I think that you get Zion and you go get his homie RJ Barrett, and you start the story that way. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how it happens.
Or John Moran if he fall.
He's not
he's not following.
because they said Memphis already saying that they're going to take him and they're going to trade Mike.
Well, they
Conley.
could be saying that to see who's gonna step
Ooh,
up with
trade
Philly
Mike Conley.
or with
Who?
Phoenix.
I hope the
I'm just saying,
Pistons
like
get him.
Phoenix could be like, "Hey,
Mike
look,
Conley?
we'll give you a player
Yeah.
and our pick.
Get rid of Reggie
But
Jackson.
who does Phoenix have?
They can give
Y'all,
Who moves the needle?
y'all debating stuff that not even gonna happen and matter. This ain't Bill Simmons.
Yeah, like Phoenix ain't got nobody that's going to move the
So
needle for
Memphis trying to trade Mike Conley.
yeah,
huh?
which makes sense because look.
you. Man, Mike Conley played about 50 games in the last 5 years.
That grindhouse aura that they have, it needs to go. If I'm already saying Houston need to blow it up, they've been needed to blow up Memphis.
Yeah.
So Mike Conley is the last remnants of that.
So he's
Move on.
Mike Conley's not healthy enough.
He is. They just rested him, so they were
I
trying
don't
to
think
tank.
I wouldn't mind him being the Pistons.
I fuck with shit.
Pistons or the
Okay.
Lakers. I've been saying the Lakers for a minute now.
Yeah,
We'll
I would
see.
like for him to
The-
be a Piston. Get
So
rid of
while I
Reggie
think
Jackson.
AD LA 2020, I do believe some of the reports that he wouldn't mind playing in New York.
No, he said that. That was
So-
on his short list of teams.
Of
Was
AD.
it his
Yeah,
words,
AD.
or was it just a report? Or
No,
did
it was his list.
did-
I think
did
he
you
said,
hear him say
oh,
it?
we don't hear none of these niggas say that shit.
He had Boston on the list. I think he would be. I think New York could be legacy impacted for him, depending on who else goes there. But I also think LA could be the move because I think Rich Paul and LeBron has been his ear, and that's why I really think LA is going to be it.
But like that goes back to Feeble's point. Like, what does LA have? Okay, so they have the 4th pick. They got a guy with a blood clot. They got another guy.
I'm
with
not
a
thinking
French-
about any of that. I think this would
Oh,
be
you still staying 2020?
at 2020, and I
Okay.
think this is just where he wants to go play the rest of his career.
So
and
he'll get
become
the
a guy.
last 2 years of LeBron.
Yeah.
Shit,
So-
but if he go to New York with Kyrie and KD,
Yeah.
that'll be
That's
Right,
what-
which is why I'm
that'll
going
shake
to
up-
leave them
that'll
on the
shake up some
board.
stuff right there.
But Boston, I get them out of here because
Yeah,
they're
I see.
dysfunctional. They have their own toxic dysfunction thing going too.
All
All
right.
right, so who's next?
Philly, since we want to go with stick with toxic.
Woo, Philly's not toxic, bro. Stop that.
So Butler staying?
Butler is
Let me
going
go
to
to Bleacher
stay. I think
Report.
Butler's going to. He's smart to stay.
Money.
If
Money,
I'm
yes.
Elton Brand, I'm re-signing everybody. The
But-
only thing that they need is a little bit more depth. Like
Even
one-
even Tobias.
yes, I'm re-signing everybody. The only thing that they need as a squad is a Ben Simmons jumper, and I'm not even talking 3-point. I'm talking about 15 to 18 feet jumper.
What about all the rumors about Elton Brand trying to trade Simmons?
There's a lot of rumors about either him or Embiid. I don't believe it, mainly because you can't give up on talent that talented at that age.
Yeah.
Because realistically, the only real hole in Ben Simmons' game is a jumper.
What? It sounds like you're saying the same thing we talked about with Markel Folks.
But this is
You
going
said
to
No. because
You said the same thing about
Let's-
his
let's-
age
but
and the
come on.
talent.
Wait.
Markel
Let's not.
was a lot of mentality, a lot of things upstairs.
Y'all don't get
We
caught
say
in
the
that.
same thing
Let's
about-
not get caught in the loop
I'm
of.
not saying that about Ben.
Ben is a mental. Is it not
Come
a
on,
mental
y'all.
thing?
We've
I'm not
debated
saying
this numerous
No,
times.
I'm comparing it to like we talk. These GMs.
But y'all
and all
had that same debate though.
No, but I'm saying it for this point. These GMs, they don't have the same patience like y'all think they do, like back in the day. These niggas just trying to win now, quick as possible. You just talk about Daryl Morey talking about blowing up James Harden, and you think they're not gonna do that trade? It's out of sight, out of mind for them to trade Ben
So
Simmons.
let me ask you. All right. So
Here y'all go.
do you go get like a Mike Conley? Like, so what do you go get? Because obviously you let Ben Simmons go, you need a point guard.
They could trade Ben Simmons for Memphis. What's up? Give us John Morant. You get Ben Simmons.
I do that. I do that if I'm Memphis.
That's not gonna even happen.
But it's not. But it's not.
I'm just
It's
saying.
not.
I'm just saying you got to.
But let's think about more realistic.
Okay.
Because I think that if you do trade Ben Simmons, you got to get a player that's ready now.
Yeah.
It has to be an upgrade. John Morant is not necessarily an upgrade because we don't
And
know
it can't
how
be an
ready
old
he
ass
is.
nigga like Mike Conley.
Exactly.
I didn't say Mike Conley. I was saying
who
no.
do you go get? Like, is it CP?
No,
CP on Philly.
no.
Hey, that would be.
Because now we got to think about
What
Houston.
you think, B?
How old is Ben Simmons?
It ain't about age. It's about getting the damn chip. We ain't
Bro.
got time. That window, FIFO said that window was 5 to 10 years. Does this team look like they got a 5 to 10 year window?
I
With the
am
way the
not
current
trade-
NBA is
with-
playing right now.
with-
Only
Ben
if Ben,
Simmons.
only if Ben get a jumper.
That's a big if.
Yeah.
We
That's
ain't
not a
drinking
big
right now.
if.
It's a weekday. We ain't drinking on. The,
We seen guys come in the league with no J.
That's why I think we're debating.
That's why it's not a
That's
big
why I
if.
think we're in a loop.
Because J.
So
Kidd,
again,
J. Kidd didn't have no jump
Let's get
shot.
back to what we're gonna do.
And I'm saying the only thing I do to fix Philly is a Ben Simmons jumper. That's all they
That
need.
just
He should be in the gym right
that's
now.
what I'm saying. That's
Like,
a big if.
That's not a big if.
Nick,
All right,
Three
so
to
Ken,
five.
Ken, what's your
This is his
solu-
third year now.
What's
Yeah,
your
third year.
solution? It's
Yeah.
fourth year, but go ahead.
Third.
I'm not gonna even say the jumper, even though I agree. I agree with everything FIFO said. Run it back.
Yeah, run it back.
Run it back.
Run it back.
Yeah,
He's
give me-
too young, too talented.
Give him another
man.
experience. Give him another experience. I
run
think
it
Joel Embiid, after him having this tearful moment, I think he's gonna come back stronger and more determined. You know what I'm saying? I
So
think
just
he's
do everything we did last year this
8.8
year.
assists.
And
at this
and,
point.
and the reason why is that you also have you know I'm very pragmatic. You also have to take into account
Brett Brown.
that they're gonna extend him, so he's there.
That's a crutch to me.
No, So
Because we all thought he got fired
no, no,
after the season.
No. So the rumor around the NBA was
That's
if
crazy.
he lost
That's
in that second
fabulous
round,
right there.
that he was gonna get fired, right?
Mhm.
But it's always, what do I always say?
It's
It's
the way
not
you
if
lose.
you lose, it's how you lose.
Right.
God, how much closer can you get?
Yeah.
How much closer if you're feeling, bruh? And even that Kawhi bounce on that jumper,
I know, right?
Philly had it. Philly, they're this close, and I think that. Think about this. That team was put together during the regular season through trade.
And that's
They
where I was gonna go.
They didn't even have an off season. So you bring back everybody, you pay them what it costs because it costs to win a championship. You pay everybody, and now you give Brett Brown a real opportunity with a real championship contender, and now you see how it looks. Because if it looks crappy, then Brett Brown's the problem.
Right. They'll fire him.
Yeah, I say running back with Philly. I'm fine with them coming back with that. Because now you have Tobias Harris for a full season.
Yep. Jimmy
And Butler. Yeah, you
all
have
in.
both of them for a full season. You have a full training camp with them. I think just come back for this season. Now, if it's like Ken said, if it's bad, then you can kind of look
Who are
at
you
Brett
looking?
Brown.
Who are you looking at first as far as
Depends on how they
improvement?
losing.
Are you looking
Brett
at Brett
Brown?
Brown or are you looking at Ben?
Ben Simmons jumper. That's
Yeah,
to me. That's
Yeah.
the difference between a championship
We
for
bet-
that squad.
We better see.
and
we
second-
better see Ben knocking down
What's the
16,
jumper? What's the jumper to y'all?
16, 17 foot.
15, 18.
Yeah, 15. what?
Consistently.
16, 17, 15. Yeah.
So a KG jumper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all he needs.
Yeah.
Because look,
Yeah.
and the comp,
And a nice little turnaround. You know.
the comp to me, right, just in terms of how he needs to progress in his game, is Tony Parker. When Tony Parker got to the league, this man could not shoot.
cannot
anything.
shoot.
He
He
had the
cannot
spin
shoot.
move. He had the
Yep.
floater. He had
He can
everything
go to
in
the
Philly.
hole, but
But he didn't elevate his game, and San Antonio didn't become a perennial championship contender until he got that 15 to 18-foot jumper.
Ralph, I'm gonna give you another one.
Who?
Kawhi can shoot.
Yeah, Kawhi
right.
couldn't
Kawhi
shoot
couldn't
either.
shoot either.
He couldn't shoot
He
either.
couldn't shoot either. I mean,
All he
and
was a lockdown
and we,
defender
And
when
we
he came
slowly
in.
starting to see Giannis J getting better. You know what I'm saying? Like Giannis J is getting
And how
a
many
little
years
bit better.
Giannis in the league now?
This
Six?
is fifth year. Yeah.
Fifth going
Yeah,
on
fifth-
six?
Yeah, fifth going on six. So,
So it takes
it
time.
takes time.
It takes time.
But we better see it this upcoming season.
I'm gonna
though.
give you another one. Chris Paul can shoot. He couldn't shoot when he came in the league.
But he
you
was
hype.
getting
On
on
Ben-
mid-range.
on Ben
Mid-range.
Simmons
No,
level?
You
Chris
wasn't-
Paul
you
can shoot
wasn't-
like
you
that.
wasn't playing off of Chris Paul.
On Ben
Like, you
Simmons
wasn't-
level?
No.
Oh, not on Ben Simmons level.
No,
No,
on Ben
Chris
Simmons.
Paul wasn't.
Chris
he wasn't
Paul,
that great of a.
he didn't have a 3-point shot, but he had a good 15 to 18 foot
yeah.
shot when
Yeah,
he
he
first.
He
had
wasn't
mid-range.
Jason Kidd level, but he.
I've been
he-
following
no,
CP3.
he-
Yeah,
Chris Paul's jumper was complementary to his
to his
game.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
It wasn't expanded.
It just wasn't
'Cause
expanded,
He didn't need
yeah.
a three like
He-
when he first came into the
yeah,
league.
he didn't need it.
He
was
wasn't
so
as
quick.
crispy as he is now.
When the 15 to 18 foot, yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah, he
I
was-
don't remember that.
It was,
But
it was
I'll-
a 3-point
The New
shot he
Orleans
didn't
Hornets
have.
years with
Yeah,
David West
he
and
was a-
Tyson
he was
Chandler.
a-
Oh
he was a
yeah.
dog. He
Oh
was a
yeah.
dog.
He had 15
Yeah.
to 18 foot his
Oh
whole
yeah.
game.
Oh yeah. He did.
Because look, Chris Paul came into the league with everything he needed.
Pretty
But
much.
he didn't have everything like to get
Hold
him
on,
to,
man.
to,
Y'all
to,
sure?
to propel him. Like he had to
All
add
right,
to his game.
I don't want to get stuck in this. I'm gonna look it up. We can talk about it
who
afterwards.
else?
But
Denver.
Time.
Yeah, they young.
They gotta wait
young.
everybody out.
Yeah, they young. They just
Yeah.
give them time. I
Alright.
mean, they got to
They
get their
good.
boy back. What's this one?
Michael Porter.
Yeah,
Michael
once
Porter,
they get him.
boy,
Yeah,
look, he
they
might
get
be
him.
rookie of the year.
Is that the player you watching next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Because they're gonna pretty much have their same squad. Really, I don't know if there's anyone that's up for.
They might
re-signing
lose
that
one or two people.
Isaiah
like
Thomas,
IT,
yeah.
They might lose
Oh,
one or two
yeah.
people.
I'm
but
talking about like people that we
their
seen
core?
playing. The play.
Nah.
Yeah, their
Nah.
core is staying. So Denver be all right. They'd be
Yeah,
good.
I agree with that. They just
They'd
need
be
to,
good.
They just need to get healthy.
Let me ask y'all something about Denver. Jamal Murray, is he a point or is he a two? Because I think he's
I
more
think he's a
CJ
good
than Dame.
I think he's a good combo guard.
Yeah.
Right now.
So do you think that you let go like of a Gary Harris or something like that to try to bring in like more of a pure point for that squad?
I would look at somebody like who was a good, maybe a Rondo.
To start,
I don't like
or
that
like
personality.
You don't like the
I like the
Yeah.
game,
Okay.
but I don't like the personality.
Or like Elfrid Payton. Then.
Hell no.
You don't like
No.
yeah, I'm not really big on Elfrid Payton.
I'm not big on Alfred. I'm
Yeah.
not big on Alfred
Me
at
either.
all. Not
What
as
like
a starting point
What
guard.
about Drew Holiday?
he's more of a combo. He was more of a two to me than a
Really?
than a point.
He's
He's always been like that. Even when Philly. when he
I,
was in
I
Philly.
just
Play
I
the
don't
point,
like
though.
Drew because he's so inconsistent with his jumper. I don't like him.
I'm saying, so who you bring in?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Do you think Reggie Jackson fits?
You talking about personality?
But I feel like Reggie Jackson's been humbled.
Man, if we can get rid of his
I
ass,
know,
yeah, shit, that would be nice. That would be nice if we can get rid
No,
of Reggie Jackson.
I'm really trying to think because I feel that for Denver to make that like a big jump.
I want us to get
I
Kemba
love
Walker
Jamal
so
Murray,
bad.
but I would like to see him more off the ball like a CJ McCollum than be like the primary ball handler. Because I think when Michael Porter Jr. come into the fold, eventually he's going to be their leading scorer, right? We know the Joker, he could do anything. Like he could give you 30, he could give you 10 assists, 15 rebounds. So for him it doesn't matter. As long as he's on the court, he's going to produce. I think Jamal Murray is one of those type of guys too. Like it doesn't matter who else is on the court with him, he's going to get his just because he's a pure shooter, pure scorer. But I think that they need a person that can dictate tempo because at times, and we saw it against Portland, he's not a pure point. Like he can't
So Mike Conley?
control.
Too
I-
old.
I think Mike Conley's game and where he is in his career fits,
It'd be a good for Denver.
but and you know in the offseason you could trade whatever. So yeah, so
You just gotta
yeah.
make them. You gotta make the math work. And
No,
all
no,
that.
no. In the offseason, like contracts don't have to work like that. It's only during the season.
Yeah, but I would assume Memphis would want something back.
Yeah,
So you have to do- you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
bring-
You got to
bring
give
a-
off
yeah.
some. So I'm saying
That
like
might
Gary
mess up the-
Harris.
yeah, that might
well,
mess up the
I would give
chemistry.
up Gary Harris because I think Gary Harris is a
about-
luxury.
What about dude from Miami?
Dragic?
Yeah, Dragic.
Is
To
he up?
Denver.
I like Dragic
Yeah.
makes perfect sense
Yeah.
for Denver.
See?
Perfect sense for
I
Denver.
I know my
Yep.
basketball
Yep,
shit,
yep,
baby.
Yep, yep.
You know what I
They
mean?
need somebody like that.
Yeah.
They need
But
somebody like
nonetheless,
that.
they need time. We all agree.
Yeah,
they need time.
over anything, even if they wanted to stand pat, I'm fine with that. They don't have to make a move.
Yeah.
They just need time.
Okay.
Pistons trade off Reggie Jackson and some picks for Kemba Walker. we can get Kemba Walker over there with Blake and Andre Drummond
I might have to wake you up on
and
that.
those
'cause
wing
That
defenders.
sound like a pipe dream.
We got some good wing defenders now, so we can get Kemba Walker over there. Yeah, man, I feel good, but that's just wishful thinking.
All right. So, the fight. Oh, well, are we done with NBA?
Oh yeah, I think that was all teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Did you watch it?
I didn't need to. It was.
Yeah, it was on
By the
Instagram.
time-
Shit,
but yeah,
you can put that shit on
I
Instagram.
was like,
It was
I
a
watched
minute.
the Instagram
Yeah,
because I was
man.
looking for it because I think wasn't it free on Showtime?
it was on Show- it came
as
on
long as you had a
Showtime.
subscription.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking
Showtime.
for it. I'm like the game. You
Yeah.
texted me while I was searching for it. You like it's
Yeah,
over.
It's over. I'm like, man, y'all see that shit? Because y'all was watching the games. I kept
Yeah.
going back and forth, but
Yeah.
I was watching the fight. I'm like, okay, I'll come back to the game once this fight is over. Man, yeah, that shit.
But that hit, like I
Yeah.
showed, I sent B on Instagram a slow mo
Motion,
hit.
yes,
and
man.
they focus on this one white dude that was on to the
With
bottom
the white
left corner,
red
like
tie.
his face.
Yeah, like,
It's
oh,
crazy.
shit.
But if you watch that punch in slow motion,
He set him up so crazy.
dude, you can see Buddy's brain move from the middle of his head to the outer layer of his head. Like it.
And then he
I
had the
gotta see
nerve.
it.
He had the nerve to be mad at the refs because he said after the fight press conference,
So
not
they
the
called it
ring
too
interview.
early?
Yeah, not the ring interview, but like the press conference that they talked. Yeah, he said he felt like the ref called it out too early. Nigga,
You
did
was
see
stumbling.
right, dude. Like, are you kidding me?
Bro, look. dude's head?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't-
Yeah.
Yo, you
And you know what's
Hey.
crazy?
Move,
And you know
bro.
what's crazy?
Oh my
Like
God.
every time when Deontay Wilder fight, he's always the lighter heavyweight. Like he's
Yeah,
always
yeah, I
he's
heard
always
that.
like
Mhm.
215, 220 ish, and the guys that he fighting
Watch dude's
are
head.
like 260, 270. You know what I'm saying? 280, and it's like this dude is knocking him out. Like he the bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it crazy, man. Like Anthony Joshua don't want
It's,
no
some,
part
yeah,
of
it's
that.
something about because he's lean, but he's powerful.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't
dude,
think.
like-
Have we ever seen something like that?
You talking about lean and powerful?
Yeah,
him?
like that light as a heavyweight and still powerful enough to knock people out like that.
Not his size, but I mean, Mike Tyson was 215, 220 when he was fighting, but Mike Tyson was like 5'11", so he wasn't as big. We never seen anyone as big as this guy, 6'7". He's LeBron James pretty much that can box.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just pretty much looking at LeBron James get into the ring and fighting somebody. That's pretty much Deontay Wilder like every time. But yeah, I don't think his right hand is like crazy. My only thing with Deontay Wilder is that he's not super technically sound, because like whenever he's throwing punches, that's why Tyson Fury was able to kind of catch him a lot, because Tyson Fury was like he's not a knockout artist, but he's a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And when Deontay Wilder was throwing those wild open punches, Tyson was just bam, 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 like counter him real good. But it's like if you get hit with that right,
Yeah,
you're gonna drop. That's why he ended up dropping Tyson Fury in the 12th round, because he caught him with a right hand. But that's my only downside with Deontay Wilder. He leaves himself open too much, and in the heavyweight division, all it takes is one punch. Like
you can
literally,
see, yeah.
literally one punch can change the entire fight. And if he fight Anthony Joshua, which I still think Joshua's afraid of him, but if he fight Anthony Joshua, Joshua can get some good clockings on him, and all it takes is one hit, and he can. I don't know, but I would love to see him. At this point, him and Anthony Joshua has to fight. You see that? That was crazy. Like, at this point, him and Anthony Joshua has to fight. I disagree with Foreman, even though I wasn't living in that time, but George Foreman said he think if Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight, it'll be bigger than Ali and Frazier when they fought the first time.
Really?
Which, I mean, like I said, I wasn't living in, but
Yeah, that
they
still
don't
sound
call
like
they don't
yeah.
call that shit the fight of the century for no reason. Like
Yeah.
that shit was literally the fight of the century for a reason. So I don't know if I would go that far and say it's going to be that big to say that, but I want to see it. And Anthony Joshua about to fight another nobody that we never heard of, Anthony Ruiz Jr., that he's going to probably mop up. They have to make this fight happen, man. They have to. I think Anthony Joshua's about to fight next month, so they have to make this fight happen by the end of this year or the first quarter of next year. Like it has to happen soon, because these dudes keep fighting nobodies and all these no-name guys, and it's like, come on, like you just making this would be a travesty if this don't happen in the heavyweight. We've never seen a heavyweight match so anticipated, in a long time. And if these guys don't make this happen, it would be a travesty in the boxing world, in my opinion. They have to fight. They have to. Just like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, they got to fight in the welterweight. Like they have to fight. That shit has to happen.
Well, you heard it from B.
Yeah, it has to happen.
Kid, what's your nickname? Was B's segment, B's corner?
B. Kellerman.
Yeah.
B. Kellerman. That's
Beezy
what we call him.
Kellerman. I call him the Black Kellerman.
Black
That's
Kellerman.
what.
Yeah, exactly, Black Kellerman. I mean, there's some more fights I can talk about, but it'd be lit on some longer if I was to talk about some more boxers to look out for. We had to have like a boxing segment to me, like just talk about like some more boxers to look out for. Cause I can name some. Damn, that was a good save.
Wow, he did save that shit.
Oh, don't tell me he gonna score still. Oh, don't tell me they.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, they trash for that.
I'm going to an Atlanta United game next Wednesday for the first
Oh,
time.
you are?
Yeah.
Dang, that's dope.
I'm trying to go
Yeah.
to a Braves game.
I gotta get. You never been to a Braves game before?
Bro.
Not here. Not
Oh,
yet.
Yeah,
Not
I gotta
yet.
go to
Truist
the.
Park is so amazing.
It is.
The ambiance there,
Yeah.
and I'm not even a baseball guy like that, but it's a fun.
No,
time.
I mean,
Like,
you
I
don't
don't
even have
like-
to go to the game. You could, if you got
Yes.
tickets for the game, you can just go down there. And
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I've been
Yeah.
I've been down there just to, like at the bars. I love the atmosphere. I'm like, but I gotta go to a game. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's dope.
'Cause
It's
I-
dope.
yeah,
it's definitely dope, man.
I don't care to watch it on TV. I love watching it live. It's nothing like it.
I know,
Yeah.
man. Seeing them pictures,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Seeing that shit live, man, I'd be like, God damn.
And then the tickets ain't that bad either. I
Tickets
had
ain't
that.
never
no.
that
Bro,
bad.
I got
No, you
some
get some-
really good tickets for me and the wife
you get
last
some
year. We
good
spent
seats.
like $40 on
That's
tickets.
all I'm saying.
you
It's
get
only
some
that.
good seats.
I used to go
Baseball.
every time the Mets were in town because I was a big time Mets fan. I still am. But every time they would be in town, I would go.
I was gonna try to go to a Reds game when they came down.
And
So.
seeing them pictures live, man, is amazing.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all, man. We appreciate. Let me see y'all say anything, but we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. I'm glad you guys enjoy watching the podcast live, man, and kicking it with us. Definitely share the show and let others know. I'm trying to see.
Just Facebook Live or YouTube Live.
Nah, YouTube Live. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, New Orleans coach likes these young players. That's been reported. Anyway, dang. All right. Salute, Jay the Jet. We'll catch you next week, man. Every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on YouTube. We'll catch you guys next week. We out. Peace.
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 They rank all of the NBA draft prospects according to like their draft combine and shit. They ranked Cam Reddish number 5 now.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're not saying that he's gonna go fifth because of need, like
Need,
team
yeah.
needs and shit like that, but he's the fifth best player. I also saw the stat